Damn, I'd almost forgotten how dark that intro is. I should maybe lighten it up a bit. What do you think, Cheryl? Cheryl's.
No, sorry. I, I didn't hear what you said. My volume was turned down. Well, turned lower. What'd you say?
I think that intro might be a bit too dark. I don't know. I should
Well,
maybe lighten it up a bit.
it's not. Are you talking about content dark or color dark?
Content.
No, no,
It
I
is
love.
true crime after all.
No, I loved it.
The dark shades of the human condition.
Yeah.
Many different shades.
See, happy thoughts that I love dark. Yes. No, I don't think you should change it at all.
Hey everyone, it's been a while. I was just checking through my videos there. It's been about 3 months since I've been live, so it's good to be back on. Because I got in the habit of doing a few interviews, which are obviously pre-recorded and then uploaded later. So it's a bit different when you put the premiere on. It's got some advantages, but you also miss just the kind of the buzz of the live, you know. So it's good to be back on.
Yeah, and this is a good subject to talk about too. She's definitely fascinating. And now that her
Yeah,
trial is coming up,
Sarah Boone. All right, guys. I think most people by now should be aware of this case. I'm actually it's actually good to see it getting a lot more traction lately. You know, it was a bit quiet for a while when I was covering it, but I think it's a bit more well known. I'm seeing a lot of people in the charts of some of the big platforms asking about this case coming up. Do you know, in Law and Crime and Court TV asking about this case. I think everyone's in the mood for another good trial after the Murdo murders.
yeah. Um, this one isn't just a good trial though.
It's
This,
unique.
this one definitely has. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's just
Yeah,
it's so odd, and I'm looking in the chat, and kindness cakes hello says that Sarah didn't intend to kill George. I really believe she didn't. So that's the thing. Like, you watch those videos, and I think your first reaction is like, OMG. But
mm,
then the more you dive into the facts, or the facts that as we know them now before the
mm,
trial starts, again with you and I, second degree or manslaughter, which all plays to intent, right? So there's
yeah,
so many different things that you can think about, and
yeah, yeah. And this is why it's grabbed me so much because it is unique for a variety of reasons, but mostly what you're talking about there, because she's been charged with second degree, um, which usually first degree is obviously, you know, premeditated murder. Second degree is obviously a step down, and there's less kind of premeditation to it, where it's tends to be more a kind of crime of passion, you know. So typically, husband wife murders would kind of fall under that bracket, and then the third tier usually falls under manslaughter, you know. So it could normally be things like drunk driving, for example, or say someone fires a weapon where they weren't intending to hit someone, right? But someone accidentally dies as a result, things like that. But of course, it's tricky because, like, for the US, for example, you've got slightly different definitions from state to state to state. And when we were first talking about this, we were talking about the specific definition of manslaughter and the specifics of second degree. So it's so open to interpretation just as an observer. But of course, it's up to the attorneys and it's up to the judge to explain it to the jury. Um, but just leaving that aside, right? And just talking about it as an observer in terms of ethics, what we believe is right and what's wrong. I think that's kind of what I care about in this. Like, I'm not too fussed about whether what I am defining as the third tier would be categorized exactly that way in, say, Florida, right? It's more kind of in terms of ethics. And I was obviously making the argument for manslaughter, and you were more tending towards second degree, right? You there, Cheryl?
Yep, sorry, it just takes me a second to find my mute. Yeah, because I was just looking up second degree in Florida again. Yeah, based on their Florida's definition of second degree, I think it definitely falls under second degree.
I'm trying to
But I'm
find.
also one of those people that don't believe that drunk driving should be manslaughter either, because drunk or not, there's enough awareness out there that if you drink and you drive, there's a possibility you could kill someone. Then to me that takes you kind of out of, to me manslaughter is more of like you just did something.
See, I would put that in the same category as the third tier,
No,
drunk
I
driving.
mean,
But it's so open to interpretation, right?
right, and that's why we have juries, because it's we have these laws and we have the way that they're written, and then it's up for interpretation, because there's very few laws that are so cut and dry, like it's black or white. So I can read this really quick. For second-degree murder in Florida, they have to commit one of the following acts. Murder with a depraved mind is committed when a person is killed without premeditation.
Yeah.
The murder happens as a result of an imminently dangerous act to another, demonstrating a depraved mind and displaying no regard for human life. And this is where I come in, when the guy's sitting there saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And she's saying, yeah, too bad on you. That's the, no regard for human life. Because it wasn't just like, hey, I can't breathe. You can clearly tell he was struggling to breathe, and she still had no regard.
Yeah, but I would argue it's the phrase regardless of human life. That's quite a strong phrase, right? There's no doubt that she was intending to be cruel to him, and her intention was definitely for him to suffer, to be in some pain. But to me, there's a distinction between that and complete disregard for his life. But it's interesting that it actually specifies no premeditation is necessary. I thought, I wasn't too sure if that was across the board or not.
No, I think first degree for most states is the main one that has it must be premeditated. So I think we use this excuse one other time. They even have an example of it here. Second degree of non-premeditated murder in the commission of a felony. So that, for an example of that, like you go in to rob a store and you have a gun with you, and you didn't go in thinking I'm going to kill everybody in the store. I'm going to kill the clerk to get the money. You just have the gun to kind of scare them, but something happens and you end up killing them. So in Florida, that falls under second degree because you didn't have the premeditation. You're on mute, Rabid. He's just going to sit on mute, I guess. So I'll look at the chat till are you there?
I'm here, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with that being second degree because it's more of a willful act in terms of the fact that they've brought a weapon which is designed to kill with them for the robbery. Even if
well, let's not use that then. So you go in, you're going in to rob a store, and you have no weapon with you, but you end up, punching out the clerk, and he falls to the ground, splits his head open, and he dies. Do you think that's manslaughter or that's second degree?
No, it'd still be second degree for me. It's
Because he was
the
committing a crime at the
yeah.
time.
See, here's where the huge grey area is, right? Because people would argue, well, the fact that he was in the suitcase and she was allowing him to remain in the suitcase, that's just the same as the willful act of going to commit a burglary, even if you're not intending harm on the employees, right? But I still see a distinction between those two.
All right,
Um,
I have another scenario for you then.
okay.
And I don't know. I just thought of this one. You take someone, you're goofing around, you throw them in the friggin' pool. They're drunk, they can't swim, they're flapping their arms going, "Hey, I can't swim, help me." And you just sit there and watch them drown. What would you consider that?
See, that's still a little bit different. If they walked away from the scene, say, that'd be more similar to this, wouldn't it? With Sarah Boone, because apparently her story is that she fell asleep, right? She went upstairs, blacked out.
Well, okay, so the person's in the pool flailing around. They're telling you they can't swim. Help, help! And you go, "Yeah, I got to go grab another beer. I'll be back."
Yeah,
And
that
they
would
walk away. Is that second degree or is that manslaughter?
I would be a huge argument for manslaughter there if they were as drunk as Sarah Boone was, if they were as out of it as Sarah Boone is in this. But it's not it's not a comfortable argument to make, right? Because
Yeah.
um, especially especially in this particular case, when you see and you hear the content of the video.
Well, there was obviously some malice going on with her too. If
Yeah,
we talk about how the suitcase, how the prosecution's going to present how the suitcase got from the second floor to the first floor based on um, testimony, or not testimony, but from the neighbor,
hmm
the witness from the neighbor. If she tossed him down those stairs, clearly they're not just having a fun game, right? So there's already something.
I've been thinking about this because when we're initially having um, these discussions, I remember saying that kind of changes everything
Right.
if it's indeed the case that he was thrown down those stairs in the suitcase. Um, the level of intent obviously goes way up there, but I'm not too sure.
Well, we
I
talked about
still,
this before. Like, it's, one thing that we haven't heard is we haven't heard like the autopsy results. Again, so the neighbor heard this noise. It sounded like this. We can hypothesize that that's what happened, but maybe that isn't. But, when they go through the autopsy results and it turns out he's got black and blue marks and bumps on his head or whatever from being rolled down the stairs, then I don't think you can actually say any of this was an accident. Yeah, maybe he accidentally died, but she definitely put him in a position where his life could be in danger. And just throwing him down the stairs, he could have broke his neck, he could anything, right?
yeah, but it's easy to imagine a scenario where that would not be. You could argue against any notion of intent with that. I mean, it could just be 3 or 4 steps down. We just don't know, right? It could have just been a sort of playful craziness because there's a lot of evidence that they were this type of couple, right? They had a habit of these ridiculous games. That was just the
Yeah.
kind of relationship they had. Um, and there's a lot we're just not going to know until the trial.
Right, because we're basing it off of the information that is out there, which is not a lot, which is
No.
weird. It's just weird. I mean, I know I haven't watched any of the other channels that have discussed this, um, but I have seen there's been quite a few, and I'm sure that's because the trial is coming up closer. So, um,
Yeah.
so Helen says, "Remind me to never have any playful craziness with you, Rabid." Yeah, don't be throwing people down the stairs. That's not a fun game when you've let somebody zip you up in a suitcase.
Hi to everyone in chat. Um, I've been terribly ignorant of chat. Hey, kindness cake, how are you? Nuff nuff. Hey, stand up. Sheila, hey, how are you? I see a few new names actually.
Well, that's good.
Oh, Sarah, good to see you. If you're going to cover it, yeah, yeah. So as we're saying, the trial's coming up on the 10th of April, and obviously I'd love
Hopefully.
to cover this. Hopefully, it's been postponed 3 or 4 times, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been incarcerated for 3 years. So I am hoping to be covering it. I am going to be traveling for about a week at the start of this, but I'll still try and cover as much as I can. So what I was thinking with this, because I'm kind of seeing this as being a kind of primer for the trial coming up, obviously. Um, but we've covered pretty much everything there is to cover on this, right? In terms of the information, the facts that we have. Um, so I was thinking about maybe just kind of going through the timeline, um, seeing if the guys in chat would like to hear the 911 call, maybe hear some of the neighbors' interviews, the interrogation, maybe, because not everyone may be aware of this. So, guys, in chat, if you can put a one if you're familiar with this case, if you've watched the interrogation, and if you put a two if you'd like to catch up on this and see the interrogation and the 911 call.
While we're waiting for that, Sheila put a comment in, and that's something that needs to be kept in mind too. But she did know a suitcase could kill because other people have said she did the same to her son and put it on Facebook and was reported to CPS for it. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I mean, if she had been told, like, you can't do that, somebody could die, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't know if I would need CPS to tell me that. I mean, I never would think, though, that it was a cloth one. I wouldn't actually think someone could suffocate, but the compression suffocation,
Yeah,
that,
that is a good point. Actually, that is a good point. That
yeah.
that she should have been more aware of the dangers. Surely that would have come up in the conversations with CPS, right?
And
Um,
again, even without all of that, he's saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And she's saying, that's on you, that's on you, that's on you.
mm.
Um, okay.
Do you know what's going to be really frustrating as well in this trial? That I just know is going to happen because it always does in trials, right? Is there's going to be this situation where the defense is going to over egg a certain theme out of necessity, and the prosecution's going to over egg the other side. So you're going to have the truth somewhere in the middle, and it's going to come down to who makes the better arguments, and obviously what the evidence shows, right?
Yeah.
They're obviously going to make a big deal about domestic violence here. We kind of already know that there was a lot of domestic violence going each way between the two of them.
Yeah.
They'd both been arrested various times. There's a lot of witness interviews talking about this as well. Um,
So
so,
I put a comment up there from with respect.
and even after he died, she wanted her ring back. This is the thing. The, the interrogation is incredible. She and now the two interrogators have gotten a lot of stick in recent times over this case,
As
over the way that they handled
as
this
they should.
interrogation, as they should. Um, but I think part of it was because they were just so naturally shocked at her behavior and her just her tone, because her interrogation takes place 20, not much more than 24 hours after her partner's has died, and she has. To me, what's interesting is the fact that, to anyone that doesn't know, she was clearly an alcoholic, but she seems more insecure and defensive about her addiction than she did devastated over his death. And due to that, she kind of dug her own hole in a sense because she was downplaying how much that they were drinking. But as it obviously is going to turn out, she's going to need that as mitigating circumstances, how inebriated she was. And she kind of admitted it more towards the end of the interrogation. But what was incredible was that she had the audacity to bring with her own notepad with a list of her demands from the interrogators, one of which was the ring. You know, am I going to get the ring back? How about this? How about this? And then two interrogators are just sitting there looking at her in awe. You know, it's incredible. And they're just thinking, well, you're not really going to have to worry about that.
Right? Just put
She
your list
really
away.
thought she was going home.
She did. She really did.
Kindness
Oh,
Cake
what?
says very inexperienced interrogation, lots of missed opportunities. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah. I
yeah,
don't know if anybody watches the behavioral panel,
yeah,
but they did it on that, and we can have our own opinions, but I'm not a professional. I know there probably are some people in law enforcement on YouTube, but I'm not one of them. So I can look at it and give my totally unprofessional opinion, but that doesn't mean that I'm right because I'm not trained.
hmm,
But when those four guys were doing it, and most of them are involved with law enforcement in one way or another, whether it's training them or military law enforcement, and they come to an even worse conclusion than what we do, as that was just a horrible interrogation.
mhm.
They pointed out a lot of things that that obviously I didn't even notice, but I was like, man, I guess I'm glad that the facts of the case and the evidence of the case is so straightforward, because I'm glad they didn't need a confession, because those guys would have never been able to get one. They weren't even close to, I mean, they wouldn't even let her finish some of her sentences.
Do you know what it was like? It was like they were just two acquaintances off the street that were sitting in a bar listening to this story. They were just, they were being argumentative. They
Yeah.
were showing their disgust. They were not
Yeah.
hiding how they felt, and it
Yeah.
became such an antagonistic interview. And
Yeah.
because of that's obviously that's the 101 of interrogations, is you try and
Build a
level with this,
rapport.
yeah, build a rapport and try and give them an opportunity to make some admissions. But they had no chance of that. But
No.
as you say, the evidence was so strong. They were sitting there with the knowledge of this video, and they were just enjoying um, waiting for this video to be played, it seemed like, and then just looking at her in disgust.
Yeah, but even that, they screwed that up by not having the laptop. I don't know. The whole thing just looked like a dumpster fire to me. It just seemed horrible. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe they already knew, like, you know what? We don't even care what you have to say because we're going to arrest you. We already got you. It's all good, but that's not, how they're supposed to be.
not at all. And
Because maybe
I,
that ambiguity about whether it's manslaughter or second degree, she may, if you just let her talk, she may have said something that'd be like, well, there you go, that makes it second degree, da da da,
yeah,
black and white, clear cut. But they didn't let her talk.
I know. And to be honest, I wasn't really aware of that aspect of it when I first watched the interrogation, because I was just so zoned in on Sarah.
Yeah.
But then when you watch it back, especially after, like you say, listening to the behavioral panel, it's so obvious how terrible they were. on a professional level.
Yeah, the behavioral panel pointed out things that I didn't notice either. I mean, I noticed the male guy like on his cell phone, but I think again, I was more focused on her. I think I thought he was looking up something to pertaining to this, but then watching it with them, no, I don't know if he was like Amazon shopping, don't know what he was doing. And then the girl, they were talking about her picking the lint off her pants, like, so clearly she's just not very focused. And I don't know, again, I'm not a law enforcement interrogator, so I don't know, but listening to those guys point out all those things, it's like, yes, okay, yeah, it was pretty crappy.
Yeah, yeah, it was pretty bad. No denying it. The fact that she had a list of demands and thought she could just go home shows to me how impaired her judgment was. She was bombed out and in shock, deluded and in denial of the severity.
Well, I think she kept saying the word intent. She kept saying it so much that she thought that that meant anything to anybody. I didn't intend to. It was intent, right? That was the word she kept saying. I didn't intend to. It wasn't
Well,
intentional. It wasn't intentional. I
it's
think
funny
that,
you
go ahead.
it's funny you should say that, Cheryl, because not intentional is the title of this. Um, but the more I think about it, in a way, I think it really is that simple in this case. She just simply didn't intend it. As comical or darkly comical as it sounds, when she just keeps repeating this because she just doesn't seem to be able to articulate precisely how she ended up leaving him there. So she just keeps repeating, not intentional, not intentional. But I really think that is the truth in this. She just simply didn't intend his death. She certainly intended a lot of harm.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Some people think that maybe she did. I personally don't think she set out that night intending to kill him. But again, intent does you don't need intent. You
True.
don't need you don't need that for second degree or even manslaughter. So, but I really do, like I said, I think she just kept thinking, as long as she kept saying I didn't intend to, it wasn't intentional, they'd be like, okay, well then we're all good. Here, give us your list, we'll get your stuff back, have a nice day. I really think she thought that.
Can you recall what the average sentence would be for second degree? 15 years, 20 years? Can you recall?
Oh, no, I don't know. um I'm looking up the behavioral panel right now to put the link in.
Oh, sweet. Guys, do you want to hear the 911 call? I don't know if everyone's already heard it or not.
So I don't know if you were looking, but a lot of people said that they have already heard the interrogation, but they wouldn't mind hearing it again. I don't know if you were going to play the whole thing. Isn't it like a couple hours long?
It is, yeah. I probably wouldn't want to play the whole thing. It would just be cool to have a summary of everything and a
Especially the last part with the list. And not that that's my favorite
list.
part, but that's where I was like, I'm watching this whole thing and I had to keep, I think I told you the first time I watched it, I had to keep stopping because I was getting so angry, but I wasn't even sure exactly why I was angry. But
Yeah.
then looking back on it, it was the way that she was being quote unquote interrogated. But then when I got to the end and she's it brings out the list, I was like, this is like
It's,
a joke, right? This is not happening.
it's incredible. And they're in shock. They just stare at her like they've just entered a different dimension with this woman.
Yes.
You're seriously asking these questions right now? And on top of that, you surely must be thinking you're walking home after this.
Yeah, it was one of those mind-blowing moments.
Oh, hey, Bitey Cat, how are you? Jenny Barnes. Good to see you. Jamie,
Behavior.
how are you? Nuff Nuff. Peggy Thomas, Executive Director, Popper Corps. Great name. Alright, let me find the 911 call.
Right? With respect, but she's a straight A student.
This is
I I mean, this is a horrible thing to be laughing about, but she's something. That's the other thing is, because I haven't seen anything. I wonder if like psychological exams, or they're just going to chalk everything up to her being an alcoholic. I wonder if there were psychological exams that were mandated, and we're going to hear about those. Like, oh, she's been diagnosed with this and this and this.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. And I do have a feeling that she's going to be on the stand as well. That may have been part of the reason that there was so many postponements, because I think she kept having problems with her attorneys.
Yeah.
So I can imagine attorneys not wanting her to take the stand. Okay, here's the call.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
4748 France Court, apartment 3.
4748, what's the street name?
France, FRANTD.
And the apartment number?
3.
Is this a police or medical?
My boyfriend is dead.
Okay, send the line for the fire department. Do not hang up.
Fire rescue. So location emergency.
That's 32.
No, please don't leave.
4748 France Lane, apartment 3.
France.
Just want to say that's her talking to her ex-husband who turned up there when she's saying, "Please don't leave."
Court.
France Court?
Yes.
Okay, is this near Mackenzie Drive?
I don't know where that is.
Okay, fine, okay.
It's Tealwood Park Apartments.
Okay, 4748 France, correct?
Correct.
All right, correct. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I put him in his case and we were playing. And
Okay.
like kind of hide and seek kind of thing. So I fell asleep and I woke up and he was dead in the suitcase. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right, okay, what's your apartment number?
3.
Apartment 3?
Yes, like he has like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know if like he had like an aneurysm or like what happened.
Right, okay, all right, okay. Listen, we're getting help out there too. All right, okay. Okay,
Right now?
Okay, yeah, man, listen, we're on our way out there. You're at 407-716-8684. Okay, is he hanging from somewhere or what, ma'am?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Okay, so he was in a suitcase?
Yes, and I fell asleep.
Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No, he's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me, okay?
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah, okay.
But nothing happened. He's purple.
Okay, listen to me. There's a defibrillator. I need you to get it for me, okay?
What is it?
You have an AED available?
No.
All right. Are you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay. Lay him flat on his... Okay, ma'am, listen. So listen, is he cold and stiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's not necessarily cold, but he's stiff. And he's
right,
purple.
okay. All right, listen to me. Listen to me. I want you to lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Removing the pillows. Okay.
Yes, I did.
All right. Okay.
He's stiff and purple.
Right. Okay. Listen. Okay, man. That's fine. We're still going to do compressions on him. Okay. All right. Place the heel of your hand on his breastbone, right in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your other hand on top of that hand.
Baby, I'm telling you. Just by looking at him, you can tell.
Okay.
Please. Okay, he just gurgled.
Okay. Listen to me. All right. I want you to place the heel of your hand.
26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Please hurry.
Okay, man, they're getting there as fast as they can, okay?
He's stiff and he's purple.
Okay. Keep pumping his chest for me, ma'am.
I'm still doing it, okay? Still doing it. Just don't make me stop.
Right. Okay, that's fine. Just you do a good job. Just keep on doing it for me. That's all right. They're getting there as fast as they can, along with the sheriff's office, also. Okay.
Please.
Okay. Keep on pumping, man. 1,
We were playing hide
2,
and seek.
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Just keep on pumping for me. Okay. Okay.
Please hurry. This
Right.
is
Okay.
horrible. This is horrific. What happened? Like, what happened?
Okay, man. Just keep on pumping his chest for me. Okay. They're in the parking lot. They should be up there shortly. Okay.
I'm still doing it, okay?
All right. Okay. Good. And you found them in a suitcase, you said?
Yes. We were playing hide and seek last night. I fell asleep. I think they're here.
Right. Just keep on pumping his chest until they take over. Okay.
I am.
Okay. Okay.
Open. Come in. Can I stop hugging now?
Let them take over for you. Okay.
When was the last time anybody saw him? Last night. Okay. We were playing hide and seek. He hit the suitcase. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, he's been down too long. There's nothing we can do for him.
Okay.
Okay. I have some things.
Mm-hmm.
So she does say, I don't know, it wasn't in that, well, maybe she said it in that one call, that she had already tried CPR on him.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first reaction is, if you had already done it, when you start to do it with the 911 guy, why are you so startled about this noise that you're hearing? Second, she's, because that noise should have already been heard when you tried it earlier, right? But okay, then she's going on and she's still supposedly doing the CPR, but she starts talking about, we were playing hide and seek. Like, if I'm performing CPR on someone that I love or care about that is dead, and I'm counting or I'm thinking of breaths or whatever, I got 911 on the phone in one ear, I'm not going to be talking about what led up to it. Not at that moment. She didn't bring that up earlier, but that's the moment she brings that up, which I don't know.
Yeah.
My opinion is she didn't do CPR on him, and I don't think she was doing CPR on him either when she was telling the 911 operator.
I think that you're right, that she definitely didn't do CPR when she initially found him. I think she just knew instantly. As soon as she unzipped that suitcase, I think it was obvious to her.
Well, right, but think about it. So she supposedly did it earlier, but she starts to do, I mean, I've never done CPR, knock on wood, that I never have to, on a live human, but I've taken several CPR classes through Red Cross to get certified. You have to do it every couple of years or whatever. Yeah. You get really tired because it's not like TV, you know, you really have to push down hard and break that bone. And she supposedly was up to number 38. I didn't hear her breathing hard. Not at all. And she's kind of frantic now because I do think maybe it's possible she started to do it. It made that noise, which is normal. And then she screamed and got freaked out. And I don't think she did any more compressions after that because she was too frantic. She was talking about things that had nothing to do with CPR. She wasn't out of breath. And by 38, you would start to be out of breath.
I think she was. I think at the very most, she was just maybe going through the motions. You know, I think because in her head she knew that he was gone. I think she was at the very most just going through the motions. I mean, she may have been touching him and making the compressions, but not in a mindful way, expecting it to do anything. You know.
Well, I mean, I think we talked about this too, where the first responders, as soon as they walked in, there was basically like, yeah, he's gone, because whatever, rigor mortis or whatever led them to believe that. So I believe that, but she's pretending to do it, which bothers me.
Yeah.
Why are you even pretending? I mean, I could see, be like, dude, 911, dude, seriously, there's nothing to do. He's stiff, his leg, or whatever. But why pretend?
See, these are all things that don't look good for her. Another example is the fact that she wasn't the one to call 911 off her own back initially. It took her husband, her ex-husband, coming round and telling her to call 911, right? That doesn't look good for her. The fact that there was a gap of, well, if you look at the timeline here I've got on the screen, now you've got to obviously bear in mind she's got to be incredibly hungover. So she says she wakes up. Actually, I'll go down here. So she says that she wakes about 11 a.m. and stays in bed for about an hour before going downstairs. Whether she did or not, whether that's just made up, who knows? But she ignores calls from her ex-husband because Sarah was supposed to have their son that day. So she was due to go and pick him up from school, 9-year-old boy. So Brian, ex-husband, is calling her up, and she openly just admits in the interrogation that he's always blown up her phone. So she ignored the first 4 or 5 calls as she's lying in bed. Then she starts to wonder where George is, and she assumes that he's downstairs on the laptop. And this is per her. She finally goes downstairs, and I just imagine her just see it. If it's true that it was a genuine blackout, I just visualize her then seeing the suitcase where it normally wouldn't be, and then just like a shock of lightning, it comes to her, you know, and then and you imagine the panic. She opens the suitcase and he's dead. But then you've got the fact that instead of calling 911 straight away, she calls her ex-husband Brian. And I think what becomes obvious when you see a lot of this footage is that Brian seems to have become like a surrogate father to her. It's really strange. Um, he's interviewed just after this 911 call, and he doesn't seem that shocked at what's just occurred. He seems like he's used to having to deal with craziness with Sarah and her boyfriend. And as you hear from the neighbors and their landlord, that they were known as being, you know, the crazy neighbors, alcoholics, drinking day and night. And Kindness Cake asked in chat whether I knew if they were taking drugs as well. I'm not too sure. I've not heard anything about drugs. It's always just been alcohol that's been brought up. So yeah, so you've got the fact, like you mentioned, that did she lie about doing CPR initially, and was she really genuinely going through the effort there? And then you've got the gap between when she apparently finds him and then calling 911 only after her ex-husband arrives and tells her to call. So that doesn't look good. And then a lot of people would say she sounds, like Jay May said, a low emotional response. You know, a lot of people don't think she's reacting the way one would react, you know, in the immediate aftermath of your loved one finding your loved one deceased. Um, in the body cam footage outside her apartment, which I'll put on in a sec, she seems more preoccupied with the aftermath in terms of George's family. She seems terrified of repercussions coming her way. She's in a panic about where she's going to stay that night because she's worried that they're going to track her down. And then you've got the interrogation and the way she comes across in the interrogation. Doesn't look good for her. So she's got all these things going against her, right?
That's why I think the interrogation was such a missed opportunity, even though, they have enough, whether it's manslaughter, second degree, maybe not, but they have enough for the case. But let her talk, because every time she opens her mouth, some other stupid cockamamie story comes out. And like I said, if they had just let her talk, she may have said something where it doesn't have to be a debate whether it's manslaughter or second degree. She may have said something by like, well, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Jenny says, unfortunately, a substance dependence, alcohol, the person pretty much believes their own bullshit narratives.
Yeah. The other thing that I think plays into that too is enabling, which happens with, any kind of substance abuse and a lot of other things. But, a lot of times the people around them, you get to the point where it's just like, well, okay, whatever. Yes, you were kidnapped and that's why you weren't here last night and you broke free. You had to chew through the zip ties. Got it. Whatever. And because you don't want to argue anymore with their stories that don't make sense to the normal person. So you're just like, okay, whatever. And to them, I think, they may be thinking that they're actually fooling people with all these crazy stories or whatever, their excuses for things. And so they're just used to, if they say it enough, people will just be okay with it.
Yeah, and that's apparent in the interrogation. She's really trying to present a respectable image of herself in George. Yeah, Sarah agrees with you. Her breathing would have been a lot more labored.
Yeah, I think so. She doesn't look like she's a gym rat. I'm not saying anything, but neither am I. But when you're doing those compressions and you're doing them as hard as you're supposed to be doing, it's not that easy. And you guys have to keep in mind, like, this is somebody you love, somebody you care about. You're talking to 911. Why are you not out of breath?
I can't decide how close they really were, if there was genuine love there.
Well, but it's not like it's a stranger on the street, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just to that point, during the interrogation, there's parts where she really is convincing, in terms of how she feels about him, and then at other times not.
Yeah. Stand Up really wants to rewatch it.
What, the 911 call? Okay.
Oh, there goes my dogs.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
Oh, wait, I
don't 748 France Court, apartment 3.
Rapid. I don't think she meant 911. I think she meant the interrogation.
Oh, okay. Shall I put on some of the footage outside the apartment before the interrogation, or will I just go straight to interrogation? What do you think?
My preference is just the interrogation,
Okay.
the stuff outside but it's not all about me, so.
What do you think, guys? Do you want to see the body cam outside the apartment or the interrogation? Oh, hey, Laura.
I think that for me, the body cam stuff, it's just an extension of that 911 call. It's the interrogation that blows my mind.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Ghost. Good to see you.
Nuff says interrogation.
Maria,
drinking partner, not love partner. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. A codependent, violent kind of thing, but yeah.
This is definitely the most incredible interrogation I've seen.
Oh, and J May, yeah. Boone has way more issues than alcohol. I completely agree with that. Yeah. That's why I'm curious to see if there was a court-ordered psychiatric exam or psychology exam that needed to be done on her. But we'll see.
And it's also why it's going to be intriguing to see her if she's on the stand after 3 years incarcerated.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, if we watch the interrogation, I think maybe most people will come to this. like I think she just feels like she has to get on the stand because nobody can tell her story the way she can, and people will believe her if she gets up there.
I'm gonna have you sit
So
in the green chair. It doesn't move.
this is the afternoon after the 911 call.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yes, ma'am. I want to ask you about these whenever we have a moment.
Sure. So obviously, he received his autopsy. So I'm going to read you your rights again because we have to talk about that. And since I'm talking about the incident, we just have to do it, just like we did yesterday.
Protocol?
Just like we did yesterday. Remember I read you the rights? Your rights? Yeah. So it's the exact same thing, but since I'm asking you follow-up questions, I need to read them to you, okay?
Sure.
All right. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before and during questioning without charge. If you cannot afford a lawyer and want one can be provided for you before questioning without charge. Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to talk to me?
No.
And do you understand what I just read you?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So this morning we went to his autopsy, and we were informed of some injuries that he has by the doctor. So I want, so he's got scratch marks to his back.
I know what that's from.
Okay. And it's called a contusion. Do you know what a contusion is? So like basically you're getting hit and then, you know, you get a mark from it. You'll get bruising. Like someone hit you or something like that. It's called a contusion. So he had some injuries to his left shoulder. He had a cut near his like lip. We could see his mouth was a little.
I haven't laid a hand on him.
Okay.
Also too, he fell off my son's bike.
Okay.
So I don't know, and he's notorious for running into the wall or the hall tree. So why?
Okay. What about the scratches? Because there's also sex.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's also like a scratch on like the back of his neck, like kind of like going, but it's like going straight across.
I have no idea what that's from.
And they're all recent. Like they occurred recently. It wasn't something that occurred post or that occurred a week ago or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. They definitely occurred, you know, the night leading up to when he was.
In all honesty, we have not gotten into it.
Okay.
That's why, like, the only thing I thought you guys were going to ask me about, which I was going to be honest with you anyway, are the scratch marks on his back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I have no idea what it is. No idea what it is. Nonetheless, I've had my son over at the house too, so.
Or your son was there when? When was he last there?
Oh, gosh.
My understanding he was there like last Tuesday?
I don't know if it was Tuesday, but yes, he was there last week, so.
Well, we're talking about Sunday.
Yeah.
We're just talking about what occurred Sunday. Because like I said, the injuries they occurred within that time period.
So you're talking about day before yesterday?
Sunday leading into Monday. You called us yesterday at 1, but the incident, you guys were painting and stuff the night prior.
Correct.
So we're talking about Sunday and then into Monday.
I'm thoroughly confused because we had a good time sitting on the back porch, having wine and smoking a couple of cigarettes, and then decided to go inside and literally paint, do puzzles, and play and listen to music. That's why nobody got out of sorts. This is what's mind-blowing to me. Like, I have no clue. Nobody laid a hand on anybody.
He also had, like on the left side of his forehead, he had basically bruising, and on like his head and his skull.
I have no idea.
As if something hit him.
I
consider
not
force
touched him.
trauma.
I have not touched him. I have not touched him.
How would you get those injuries?
Tell me and we'll both know. I have not touched him.
Yesterday, when we took photographs of your overall body, and they did the buccal swabs, did they go under your fingernails?
No.
Okay. Are you willing to let us
Absolutely.
swab underneath your fingernails?
Go for it.
Okay.
I have no idea, and I don't want to seem out of sorts, but I have no idea. We had a good day. It was a good day. We've had good days lately, even considering everything that's going on with our jobs and life in general and ex-wives and everything. It's been good. Like, I don't even know where this is coming from.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
said
even
the
know.
last physical was probably, you said, I think, what, a month ago? Where you got the injury, right? You said that was a month ago?
A few weeks, give or take, yeah.
A few weeks. That was the last, like, physical altercation between the two of you? You said a month ago he hit you with a curtain rod.
Yeah, with a curtain rod. That's why I can't believe you guys didn't take that either.
Wow.
Like, we've been good. I don't know if, like, it's since the last time he got out of jail. Like, we've been good, and he's been having his classes and seeing his probation officer, who's amazing. So.
What do you mean by good? What's your definition of good?
The probation officer?
Oh, no, you said you guys have been good. What's your definition?
I've been good. I don't think you all understand. He comes at me all the time. He comes at me. So it's either I flee or try to go upstairs and go to sleep. That's usually what it is. And I don't know if you talked to Brian about any of that, but most of the time when I flee, I go over there. So.
Right, but you're saying that you guys have been good, and when I asked you yesterday, the last incident that you could remember was the curtain rod incident, which you said was a month ago, so.
Give or take.
Right, so what do you mean by he comes after you? Like,
he gets belligerently drunk. Like, I don't know if you all have looked through my phone yet and seen any of the pictures and the videos that I have taken. And at one point, I started documenting everything.
Okay.
So you all will see in my pictures, bloody fingers, split foreheads, he split my nose. I've got this.
Right.
I don't know if Brian told you about it, where I had to have I had one really bad surgery, but then it got
This always sticks out to me because this is her reference on her phone because she's been keeping pictures of some of the abuse that she's been receiving over the months, and she's making them aware of this, and she's already made them aware of this in the prior interview in the car. So you have to put that in the context with the fact that she recorded the videos of her taunting him in the suitcase on the phone. So because some people think that she was pretending that she forgot about taking the videos. I really do think she only recalled physically taking the videos when they put them on the laptop. I really do.
Yeah, but this is not, so I was thinking this isn't taken the day after he died. This is taken a couple days later. And if she had to show videos where she's already showed them her evidence of her being abused, she would have saw that they were there.
So this interrogation is
because they
really
already have
they already have
the autopsy. So this is at least 2 days after he died. If she's already gone through her phone and showed them pictures of the abuse that she had taken, videos and stuff like that, she would have saw that those videos were there.
Why would she not remove them then? Unless
maybe,
you think
again,
that
maybe
call them on the Google Cloud or something.
Yes.
Right?
I mean, I guess we'll find out, but that would be my guess is maybe she did remove them, but they were able to get them some other way. And that's what she was surprised about, because in her mind, she's probably thinking, wait, I deleted those. So
that would be huge if that was the case.
Yeah, it would be.
Change my perception of it.
Really bad, where I had to go like 4 or 5 more times afterwards for them to tend to it. From him poking me in the back of the leg.
Right.
So it's.
Then why are you still with him?
Everybody asks me that. When I tell you guys this, I really love him. Like I do. And I feel like I can help him. Like I feel like I could help him, which I did, because he came a really long way from where he was in Philadelphia to moving back to here and to dealing with everything else that he's been dealing with. I've really helped him. I bailed him out of jail, 3 times. I've gone to every single hearing and every single arraignment, everything that I did for him. gone to see all his public defenders, go to the state. I've gone to the state. I did everything for him because I'm trying to help him, because I had hope in him. And he was trying. He was really trying. And then he starts to think about things, and I think he gets overwhelmed. And then it's like, the next thing I know, he's drinking. So it's like, oh man, I know where this is going to go. So I'm going to go upstairs and read a book, or I'm going to go for a bike ride, or I'm going to do something else. Or I don't want to drink. I don't want to drink. The occasional wine, whatever, or if it's a weekend, that's when you have a good time. You don't have to wake up the next day. I have to wake up the next day and do things. I have to tend to Lucas. I have to take him to school. I have all this stuff to do. He doesn't know how to, I guess, maintain himself, where I can do 50 things at once and still know the 50 things more prior that I need to get done. He can't process like that. He didn't process like that. So he would literally, not literally, but have smoke coming out of his ears. So the next thing you know, he doesn't want to deal with it. I'm going to go get something to drink. So the majority of the time, I would hang out outside or do something else because I don't want to drink. And every time, his job broke his heart. And it made me sad because he had so much pride in his job. And the store that he took care of so much totally went downhill. Mm-hmm. And that broke his heart because he had put so much work and effort into fixing it up. And his manager was awful and basically gave up on all of the employees. So I think that had a huge bearing on why he would drink so much. His ex-wife is bonkers. Mm-hmm. She was all over him all the time. Send me money, send me money, send me money. How can I send you money when I don't have a job? And he's still trying to take care of me and Lucas by paying a bill here or there, getting some groceries. So he always had something on his mind, which is why, again, I got the puzzles and the bank to try to get him off of it so we don't have a drink, or he doesn't have a drink. So when you all see my phone, you can see all of the damage he has done to me and the videos of him smashing my television because he's belligerently drunk. Where most of the time, I just don't want to be there. And I try to help him. I try to calm him down. Mm-hmm. Eventually, he just passes out.
Well, yesterday it made it sound like you guys were just drinking like a glass or two. Like, yeah, you obviously had the bottle, but you told me on recording like that you were not drunk. He was not drunk. You guys were having a good time. I can't get drunk. Number one, I do not want to get drunk. I don't like being non-complimentous, having my wits about myself. I don't like feeling out of control. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying you're making it sound like he's a raging alcoholic today. And yesterday I was kind of asking you those questions and you're like a little defensive. Like, no, we're not alcoholics.
I'm not.
We are not, you know, but you guys were both sober on Sunday, to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out. I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Were you guys drinking and it got out of hand and it got physical?
No.
Or is it?
Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see that too on the pictures, him loving the dog. He loves the dog and dancing around, having a good time and just being happy. Kind of thing. He doesn't know. I can get like maybe 2-3 glasses of wine and I'll be fine. But I have to have my wits about myself because I don't know what to expect.
Well, let's talk about Sunday. What was Sunday? How were you? Like, how many glasses of wine did you have? How many glasses of wine did he have? The bottle was gone. I mean, I don't know if you poured any out. Yes.
No, that was from previous.
You said that there was a half bottle left over.
Yeah, about this much.
Mm-hmm. And then that you had I don't even know how'd you guys get the wine for Sunday?
I'm guessing he went to Publix.
Does he like leave the house and you stay home, or do you go to Publix? Like, cause
sometimes I'll go with him.
Okay. Did you go with him Sunday to Publix?
So most of the time what happens is, because the convenience store where we get cigarettes is here, and then Publix literally is cattywampus to it.
Okay.
So what he'll do is he'll start, go by Publix, and then on the way back, catch the convenience store.
Okay.
So
Is that what he did Sunday?
I'm guessing that's what he did, because the next thing I know, he's walking in with a bottle.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's him trying to be nice, so I don't have to go out and do it. Plus, there's stuff that are around the house that I had to take care of. So that's usually what will happen. Or I'm folding laundry and he'll go run out and do whatever.
Okay. So where were you guys at on drunkenness, not drunkenness on Sunday? You told us you weren't drunk.
No, I was not drunk.
Right.
I was not drunk. So with him, I don't know. I know when it's like, oh, okay, man, where I have told him, slow down. It's starting to catch up with you. Slow down. Slow down. And another thing, too, is I don't like listening to music with him because he gets too involved in the music, and the music that he listens to is a little rough around the edges, and, like, just, it makes me fractious listening to his music. So I kept asking him, let's just you and me talk. You and me will just be the ones that are talking, which was fine, because, I mean, we were playing with the dog, whatever, and then it's like, okay, now let's do the painting. We just did the puzzle, took a break, now let's do this. Sure enough, sat down, we're sitting in there talking, laughing, talking about new movies.
Be interested to see if you agree with us, Cheryl. If you can do the mind experiment, right, and just remove the context of what has occurred here, and you just listen to her general vibe and how she articulates herself and the impression that she's trying to give, do you not think she comes across kind of okay, kind of reasonable, if you take that horrific context out of this? And that's what speaks to the dissociation that's going on in her mind.
I mean, as far as like a normal person that you wouldn't think that just contributed to somebody's death, as far as normal, yeah. But I mean, there's other things. I mean, she's clear. First off, she kind of sounds like that she's like, you know, at a job interview. I've tried to help him. I've done so much for him. Basically, the guy wouldn't be alive if it weren't for me. Oh, wait a minute. He's not alive because of you, but that's a different story. Your Mother Teresa, you don't want to drink. I don't like to drink. No, I wasn't drunk. I was telling him to slow down. And she seems very defensive. But yes, as far as a normal person, like standing in Starbucks, I mean, she wouldn't be somebody I would like. She rubs me the wrong way regardless of what she's talking about. But yeah, she doesn't seem, you know, off the wall crazy.
Isn't that bizarre? I mean, I know people often say, because it's quite often the case in interrogations, where the suspect or the family member speaks about, obviously, whoever's died as if they're still going to see them the next day. That there's just like there's a natural inclination to deny reality in a sense.
Yeah.
But even bearing that in mind, this is a whole other level of disassociation that I think she's used to. You know, I think this is something that's a frequent thing with her. You know.
Well, I mean, you know, we could go down that road as far as like addiction, substance abuse, and things like that. A lot of times, you know, everybody's different, why they are what they are or how they got there. But a lot of times, you know, they get so used to numbing negative feelings with alcohol that they don't address them. So that's kind of what it's like. She's not even acting like her boyfriend is dead, because that's just, those types of emotions are things that she doesn't probably handle normally sober. When she starts to feel crappy, she drinks. So I don't know. So yeah, the disassociation, like, I don't know. Yeah. I agree. I can't even find all the words for what this thing just kills me. Because it's just so weird.
Yeah. And I think it's, on top of some of the other things, I think it's telling us something kind of profound about addiction itself, you know, and just how disassociated and deluded people can become I mean, it doesn't, obviously it doesn't end up like this most of the time, but the point still stands, you know? I mean, everyone knows about the problems that are created, you know, when people have
Yeah.
addictions, obviously, you know. It's just like a horrific metaphor for that.
Yeah. And this, I think this interrogation kind of, you know, regardless of what you actually think about it, it definitely makes you think further than she was drunk, she passed out, her boyfriend died, they did something stupid. I mean, this gives to me, again, not a psychologist, never even went to college, so don't know anything about it, just, you know, watch
You don't
TV.
have to be, though.
But this definitely, you can look at this as one way, as an interrogation, which isn't really an interrogation, but her just talking. But if you really look at what she's saying, how she's saying it, yeah, it does get really
Yeah, I mean,
weird.
it's the fact that she's advocating for herself, you know, which is just so
Right.
it's just so out of context.
Right. Because again, my opinion is she probably, because she can't deal with those, she can't face the reality sober. She can't, because it doesn't sound like she's done a whole lot of things in the past few years sober. So
Yeah,
so
and
she's just gonna not think about it that way, just keep moving along and not even think about that, and we'll think about that when we get home and we got a couple bottles of wine.
Yeah, it's like a reset every time, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And apparently, from what we heard from the ex-husband and a few other interviews, I mean, she obviously didn't just become an alcoholic overnight. There's always an ascent to that, right? But it seems that it became a big problem around about the time that her son was born. Her son was 9 years old at this point, so she's, you know, it's been about 10 years of this kind of lifestyle. Oh, and if anyone would want to jump up on panel, feel free. I'll put the link in the chat there. Be cool to hear what you guys think.
Hi, Carrie. Carrie made it.
Hey, Carrie. Some great comments here, by the way. I always feel bad about missing so many good comments.
So J May says, does Boone ever say, I don't think he died in the suitcase? She pitched him down the stairs in a suitcase, expected him to jump up and laugh about it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly no acknowledgement of anything regarding the stairs at this point. I think they question her about why the suitcase was downstairs at some point, but like you say, they never dig any further.
No,
really.
they don't. And even the whole, we were playing hide and seek. Come on, question her about that. Dig a little deeper into that, and you probably would have found out within 2 or 3 questions she would have given you the answer, which was there was no friggin' hide. 2 people here. You get in the suitcase. I'll zip you up, and we'll play hide and seek, and I'll act like I don't know where you're at. I mean, that's just stupid, right? So call her on it, and you know, because again, if she threw him down the stairs, I'm using that word. I don't know if she threw him, slid him, tossed him. I have no idea, but if he went down the stairs, the 2 things. Did she think it was like, oh, so when we were kids, because I saw someone else say that earlier about when we were kids, we used to go down the stairs and stuff, and we used to do the same thing, but it was never locked up in a suitcase. But was that supposed to be fun? I don't know.
I think it was, and it became, and it comes out later on, and this is another thing the interrogators just leave hanging. They don't dig to find out the reasons behind this, but it's clear that the reason that Sarah was being so cruel to him is because she was obviously upset about something that George had been up to. Turns out, we won't know for certain until the trial, but according to Sarah, he had been messing around on Facebook, messaging people, right?
Yeah.
She says that he was cheating, and that's the terminology that she uses, but he wasn't physically cheating. He was just playing around on Facebook, apparently. But they just didn't dig to find out.
No, they didn't. I mean, because, you know, that's one thing I thought about. I mean, I know everybody wants to get back to the interrogation, but I want to say this really quick. You know, drunk people can turn on a dime. I mean, we all, even, not even alcoholics, just drunk people. Either we all are one or we all know one where everything's fun and great. And then all of a sudden, bam, they're mad about something that happened in, you know, 10 years ago. Who knows? That can happen.
Yeah.
So is that what happened? Like they really were just being stupid and silly, and she slid him down the stairs like we used to do as kids, like, here, sit on this cardboard box, we're gonna slide you down. And then she flipped really quick, or was the intent anger to begin with, and she wanted to kind of like, oh, now I got you in the suitcase. Why a suitcase? I don't know, but again,
Yeah.
And now that I got you in there, now I'm gonna make you pay.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, that's what I think too, but I'm trying to help you with some of your stuff, Robin. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt on a few things until the trial starts, and then we'll find out. But yeah, that's what I think.
All right, let's hear more of this.
We're watching movie trailers while we're doing painting and all that other stuff. So it's still background noise to him, because I think that's what he's used to, is having background noise. Where me, I can sit in here all day with not a peep. But he always has to have some kind of background noise, which I didn't mind because the trailers were cool. And he was interested in showing them to me, getting excited about movies that were out or upcoming.
Okay.
So
on your laptop you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
And I mean, and then it was.
You said it was a good day. Like, you guys didn't have any conversations about your relationship. You guys didn't go down like the rabbit hole, like had too many to drink, and you guys start getting.
No, when I tell you this, it made me so happy that he actually listened to what I had to say, with just, we'll get through it. This will be fine. It's a small hurdle that you and I together will get through, because.
I'm talking about the money, jobs, daughters.
Yes.
Nothing relationship-wise, though. Like, no issues. Like, did you guys have a conversation about your relationship, or was it just about like
what's going on right now?
Got it.
I try to evoke it from him so he gets it off his chest, because I call him the volcano, where eventually he's going to erupt.
Right.
And what he has learned in his classes is to communicate, which is a huge thing in a relationship, where he has been practicing communication. So he actually talks to me about things and unburdens himself. Put it on me. I'll sit there and try and figure it out for you. Like, I have almost everything. Not a worry. Just tell me. Get it out of you.
Right.
But it was, when I tell you, I was so happy. Like, it was such a good day. I kid you not. The weather was beautiful outside. I'm the one that had him go inside so we can do puzzles and painting and listen to music or whatever else he wants to do. So then he starts doing whatever it is we're doing together in the living room, and then starts talking, because I think he gets comfortable with, okay, you know what, we're here, it is a good day. Let me go ahead and explain myself. So I know. Nobody else knows, but I know. Nobody knew George better than I did. I say that I knew George better than himself. And I tried in every way, shape, and form. Ask everyone. I helped him. I took care of him. I miss him a lot, and I didn't even sleep last night. I miss him a lot.
I mean, is there any chance it got to be too much for you and you couldn't handle taking care of him? And
I never stopped. I never stopped. That's what I'm here for. I never stopped. I'm here now because I'm still trying to help him.
Yeah, we just don't, I mean, it's unexplainable how he got these injuries, and
I have no idea.
You were the only one with him.
100% right hand to God. I have no idea how he got them. Nobody touched anybody. Nobody touched anybody.
Okay. You had mentioned that you would take photos, videos, just kind of like a proof and just in general.
Yeah, I started documenting at one point, but that was way before, I think, the last time that he got arrested, where he was flying off the deep end.
Okay.
But then I had him bailed out. I got him out of jail.
Right.
But because he had violated the pretrial diversion, this time it's probation, so you don't have a choice in it. You have to go to see your probation officer. You have to go to these classes. It's court ordered.
Mm-hmm.
Where it took him a while to get used to it and understand, they're not messing around. I even went down and met his probation officer, which I say she's wonderful. That's one of my questions too I need to talk to you about. Hugged me and said how much she knows that I take care of him. She called me personally one time when George was at work, when he was working. 42-minute phone call. She and I just saying how grateful she is that George has me. And she knows how hard I'm working to help him, just as she is and just as the classes will. So once he started actually going on a regular basis to the probation officer and then to his substance abuse class and his, I don't know what VIP stands for, Matters Intervention Program,
Mm-hmm.
and actually listening to what it is everyone had to say, he changed. Like I could see a change in him, where before lashing out, he would think about it. And would always come home and show me his papers, and we would look over his papers together, where it's like, wow, you actually are learning this in class? And some of the stuff that they would show them, like videos, he would come home and be like, Sarah, I'm so sorry for what I've done to you. Because for a video that he watches to make him feel that way, where it's like, oh man, I have done her wrong. But he's changed. He changed.
And that's why you're still with him, even though he's done all these things to you. And
when I tell you I love him, I love him.
Boone, when you love somebody, you have limits.
Everybody tells me that. All my neighbors don't tell me that. The office, property manager.
At some point, somebody gets enough, then they have to do something to defend themselves.
I would just flee. And I don't know if you would like to see on my phone, or I think it's actually on a laptop. I actually, because, and you have to understand too, I have, like, prior to classes in PO, kicked him out. How many times? I had him arrested. How many times?
But you also went down and bailed him
I
out
know.
the next day.
I know.
What's on your laptop?
What was I going to tell you? Oh, previously,
Mm-hmm.
I actually looked up how to file a restraining order.
Okay.
Because I would take him out, his parents, because of them constantly having to take him back in, his bags of clothes, all his stuff. The last time, the father came out and irate and just not even, I don't even know if he knew Lucas was in the car, just opened the back of my car and just started throwing all his crap in, just throwing it, like the car would jostle, he was throwing all his stuff. At that point, because I continually did it, not continually, I think I maybe did it 3 times, and he has nowhere else to go, they got fed up and said, nope, either you're staying there or you're staying here. But if you're staying here at their place, it's permanent. You're not going back over there anymore. So what happens is he pursues me. So I don't know if y'all know where Katie Way Trail is. Okay, so it's literally right there from our apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Would ride his bike to work, but before he would leave extra early and come up to the wall, stand on top of his bike and poke his head over because he would know that I would be outside having my morning cigarette and cup of coffee. And I would also know too what time he would get off of work, where I would know, come getting off of work, he's gonna do the same thing. So it's not like I ever got like a break from him, where I told you all yesterday, or whenever it was, I started to feel that it was too much togetherness. And when you have too much togetherness, friction happens. So I'm going to go ride my bike. I'm going to go upstairs and read a book. But every waking moment, he wants to be with me. So, and mind you, our townhome is either upstairs or downstairs. So it's like, if you would like to sit downstairs and watch a movie or play on the laptop, look up some jobs, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to be upstairs, maybe watching one of my shows or maybe reading a book. So, and then when that would happen, we really needed that. So what's for dinner? And then we would cook together and eat dinner and then crawl in the bed and watch a movie.
Are you talking about this is like recent? I don't. You kind of like lost me. Like when? What are you?
It was
talking about?
a little while ago. But
Now you're talking about tension building up and that you need space. So have you been feeling that way lately, or
no?
Okay.
No. Okay, my thing is too, so you all know. Oh, I hate that you can't talk to her, but Dee, his ex-wife. When I say a monster, she's a monster. Like she withholds their children from speaking to him. So he gets upset about that, and then she like completely berates him about money, about the father that he is, what he did to her, all this other stuff. It doesn't matter. I mean, mind you, this is not like been recent, but which is why he didn't even bother calling anymore, because he knows that she's going to answer and he's going to have to talk to her, so therefore he can't talk to his daughter. The other time he talked to her, made her talk to Cookie. That's on my cell phone too, so you can see it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
What does she have to do though with anything about what happened Sunday and into Monday? Like,
no, I'm just saying, like, previously,
okay.
Why the incidents, what happened is she plays a big part in it.
Okay.
On top of job
yeah.
and money and groceries and all that.
Okay.
Sunday, when I tell you this, I have no idea. I have no idea.
Is there anybody else at the house?
Nope, it's just me and him.
Since talking yesterday, do you remember any like timelines better? Like what time you guys were playing? What time he was zipped up in the luggage? What time you went upstairs?
We started because we cleaned the house a little bit, did some laundry.
You started the activities around 4, you said?
Yes, around 4:30ish, and then
you just said that it was dark when you were playing hide and seek, and I'm just curious if you remember.
But when we were outside, that's where we would start and talk about things, and then eventually I was the one that had him come inside, so we could.
About what time, do you remember what time that was, is what she's asking.
You said you went up to bed around midnight, fell asleep around 12:30ish. But those are the only times I have. So I have 4 and I have midnight. So there's a big gap. So I'm just curious, like, if you recall when you went upstairs to hide in the shower, or
like when we started to play hide and seek.
Yeah.
Well, we went inside probably about, if I had to guess, we weren't out there too long. Maybe about 6-ish. Then
you're talking about from hanging out outside and like. Okay.
Well, we have 2 beach chairs that are out there. And just enjoy the weather.
Gotcha.
Plus, it started to get dark and gnats and mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So let's go inside. I don't want to be out here anymore.
Okay.
All right, let's go. So we're doing whatever. We did it for a while because that puzzle, I don't know if they took it or they saw it. Worked on the puzzle again, finished it. Started to paint. Well, started listening to music for a little bit. Started to paint. Can we turn the music off? No problem. Start at the top, paint, whatever. Maybe, gosh, that puzzle, we worked on that for probably a good hour and a half. So 8 o'clock-ish?
Is when you went to hide upstairs originally?
No, that's when we were like painting. So then it's like, okay, well, I don't want to paint anymore. Let's just, come on. Okay, you want to play hide and seek? What he does is, okay, tag, you're it. So it's like, okay, we know. Okay, take off. That's what we did.
And then you went upstairs, and then he didn't come up, and you came down, and the suitcase was there originally because you guys were planning to do donations, so it was already there. Have you guys ever played you said you played hide and seek like probably 3 times in your relationship. When you have played, have you ever zipped him up in a suitcase prior?
No.
Okay. So it was just kind of like that prop was there, and it was there, and it was in play because.
Why do you say it like that, though?
I would never do that.
You would never zip them up in a suitcase?
Well, I mean,
we were playing.
No, I know,
that time, but
I'm saying, I'm talking about hide and seek, which is a game. So
the suitcase originally is in our closet, buried all the way to the back. I know the CSI people saw our closet. Our closet needs to be cleaned out.
Okay, so they're obviously asking her, have you ever done this before? And she replies as if this is something that they would never have dreamed of doing. But they clearly had a habit of this ridiculous game. As it was brought up earlier, CPS got called previously because I think it was Sarah's son they had put in a suitcase as a kind of prank, and they put a picture on to Facebook, and CPS came round due to this picture. I'll show you here. And I think Sarah's ex-husband was a part of this. And apparently, after they came round, the kid was obviously just saying, yeah, it was a voluntary prank and everything was fine. But it's just interesting that she completely denies ever doing anything like this before, because they clearly had.
Really bad. My son's clothes need to be cleaned out really bad because they don't fit him anymore, and I'm tired of looking at them. So he took it upon himself, including that suitcase, to take it downstairs so we can get all of our clothes, our donations and everything, and just leave the whole thing by the clothing and shoe thing at my son's school.
No, I'm just asking, in the past, like, have you ever zipped him up in anything, jokingly or not? But obviously, no. I understand, you're claiming that Sunday it was a joking matter. You were laughing, he was laughing. But what I'm just asking is, in the past, like, is it something that you guys normally do?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
We were actually this last game running out of places to hide because we have a townhome where it's upstairs or downstairs. So.
Okay, so do you remember making any videos or maybe having any any photos, videos that you remember doing on your phone on Sunday?
No.
No?
I think I took a picture of a dog.
Okay. But your phone is password protected, you have the password, he has the facial recognition, so it's not like someone else could be on your phone.
No, I have both.
But you have the face and the password?
Yes.
Yeah, but he only has the face, correct?
No.
To be able to get onto your phone, you told me that he looks at the phone.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you were asking me if I did. Yes, it's me.
Okay. Does he have access to your phone? Because you said it's your phone. Okay, how does he have access?
Sarah, can I borrow your phone? Yeah, it's right there on the kitchen counter.
Okay, but how does he get into it? Because it's password protected.
He'll come and get it to me, and I'll just do the face thing. Where sometimes, too, like, he'll joke with me and say, okay, I need to borrow your phone. And he'll hold it while I'm cooking or doing something, do the facial recognition.
Okay, so he doesn't know the password and he doesn't have the facial recognition. No. But he is the only other person that would use your phone, I'm assuming, other than...
Well, Lucas.
Right. But Lucas wasn't there Sunday. Right. So, to your recollection, no videos on Sunday?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I mean, I get my phone, I maybe took a picture of them, the two of Tess and
the dogs,
and George and them dancing, but I mean, it's just Tess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have something that I want to show you that we found, and it was from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the bombshell. And you have to judge for yourself if you really think this is the first time she's seeing this.
So I have something that I want to show you that we found, and it was from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
If you need to move it around, go ahead.
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me.
For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
Shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Now, I guess I'm probably the closest thing to an advocate for Sarah because I'm arguing down to manslaughter from what she's been charged at. But even I've got to admit, it's so bizarre that if you accept, for argument's sake, that that's the first time that she's seen that video, you got to imagine the horror that's going through her nervous system at that point. Because in that scenario, she has to have blacked out and forgotten physically recording it, even though she might remember some of the taunting. You know, she'll have images in her head from that, I'm positive. But to know that it's recorded on her phone has got to send shockwaves through her system. And if that's the case, it's hard to imagine how she could have the presence of mind to, like, 5 seconds later point out that the battery is about to go out on the laptop. Blows my mind.
George and them dancing, but I mean, it's just Tess.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I have something that I want to show you that we found, and it was from your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it?
If you need to move it around, go ahead.
No, I don't remember that.
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me.
Your battery's about to die.
Shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Let me.
That's pretty incredible, right? Your battery is about to die. So I'm going to play the actual video. Apologies to anyone that has seen this already and would rather not see it, but I think it's important to see this.
For everything you've done to me.
So.
For everything you've done to me.
So.
Fuck you.
So.
Fuck you.
So.
Stupid.
So.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
So. I can't fucking breathe, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
So. Sarah. Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, dude.
That's on you.
Sarah, I can't breathe.
It's on you.
Sarah.
Real or ransom. Might want to give it for it extra. Because I got this.
Sarah.
Real or ransom.
Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, dude.
Oh. That's what I feel like when you ching on me.
Sarah.
Fuck you.
Fucking breathe, Sarah.
Yeah. You should probably shut the fuck up.
Sarah.
Shh.
So obviously horrific. I mean, it's pretty hard to conceive of a more torturous death. And just let this sink in. 15 minutes after that video call, she made a drunken call to her ex-husband, a 2 or 3 minute call that our ex-husband was actually used to getting from Sarah. He says in the interview with law enforcement that he was constantly getting the odd call from Sarah, incoherent. There's something about the fact that however inebriated she was, however out of it she was, that she still had the presence of mind to call her ex-husband. I imagine she must have gone upstairs and called from there. And also let it sink in. There's actually a second video, a short 15-second video that was taken a couple of minutes after that one, where the suitcase has been flipped over and moved along slightly. So she's obviously gone and turned the suitcase over, and there's a flip-flop that she was wearing over next to the suitcase. So she's clearly gone, flipped it over, maybe thrown her flip-flop at the suitcase. So you can't help but imagine that he feels himself getting Sarah coming over and moving the suitcase. So he's got to be thinking he's getting let out, right? Torture upon torture. So now I need to find where I
But
was.
you
That
You would,
my son,
For everything you've done to me.
your battery's about to die.
shut it down.
Oh, okay.
Let me,
The battery doesn't last very long.
it used to last a lot longer than that. I don't know what happened.
Okay. Let me just grab something.
All right. No, I was just simply asking because you had a look on your face when she asked you if you've ever done that before. You looked kind of shocked and,
No.
okay, but
Hey Cheryl.
Hey, I'm back.
So we just got past where they first present her with the video. And I was just reminded at the fact that 10 seconds later, she has the presence of mind to tell them that the battery's about to turn off. The battery's about to run out. And if it's true that she's really seeing that for the first time, to be that disassociated that she's given a shit about the battery on the laptop is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
why did you say it like that? Like,
I don't think you all understand who I am, where,
okay. Well, tell me.
I mean, I've always been a straight-A student. I am an outstanding mother to my son.
Okay.
I excel at everything. I would not do that.
You wouldn't lock somebody in a suitcase?
Well, I didn't like completely lock it. I mean, I opened it with one finger. I left enough in there for him to get out.
Okay.
And I wasn't planning on going upstairs and going to sleep.
Okay. No, it was just the way you said it.
You guys are scaring me.
Why?
Well, we just want you to watch this. It came from your phone. Don't you want to know what's on it?
Yes, please. Is it long? Because I don't know how much I can take.
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't know how much I can take.
I don't know how to find her.
Do I have to watch this? I continuously throw up. I don't sleep. I don't want to see it, if that's okay.
Well, it's on your phone, and you can either explain it or we take it for what it is.
Yeah, we're just trying to give you the opportunity to tell us what's going on. That's it.
It's that long?
2 minutes.
No, it's-
For everything you've done to me. For everything you've done to me. Fuck you.
And this
Fuck
is,
you.
that's you, your voice.
Stupid. Sarah. That's my name. Don't wear it up. Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
I don't want to watch it, please.
Last time we talked to you, you had said that you put him in the suitcase, he had 2 fingers hanging out. and you
I
went to
flipped him
that-
over. I flipped him over, and that's where it was.
There's 2 different videos and a still picture where, yeah, it shows you flipping him in different positions and him saying that he can't breathe and you saying, fuck
So
you.
this is upside down. So in order for him to have gotten into it,
It was flipped up.
right, it was flipped up normal.
Yes.
Like as if you're packing something. So this is upside down.
Guys, this is killing me right now.
So this image is upside down, and then this small video that occurred 11 minutes later.
Okay, now most people, no matter how crazy they are, no matter what's going on in their minds, at this point in the interrogation onwards, there'd be a swift change in your demeanor, right? You'd become a little less assertive and proud of yourself, wouldn't you? But not Sarah. She starts to become actually a little put out by the interrogators for having the audacity to question her here in
Yeah.
this situation. And
Well, and you would also think after seeing that video that she didn't remember that she took, so had no idea what was going to be shown to her, even though she said she can't watch it. You think she would be a little more upset, right?
You
like,
would.
oh my, I did that. I mean, just so I don't know. I don't know. She'd be more upset. And again, the other thing is it's always me. I can't sleep. I haven't been able to sleep. I've been throwing up. I can't handle any more of this. Me.
Yeah.
Instead of like, God, I can't believe this happened to him. He didn't deserve this or any of that, whatever, you know, it's just.
Yeah. Yeah. It has to be more, there has to be something above and beyond her dependency on substances, right? There has to be
Right.
something way deeper going on there.
Right. So I'm trying to go along with you that she didn't remember she took those videos. Why is she not shocked if you really didn't remember doing that? And they're showing, and I'm sitting there. I mean, I can't really put myself in her place, but you can try. And you're being shown videos of something you took. First off, just hearing his voice coming from that suitcase would crush me, right? Like you would just be, oh my God, be appalled at yourself. I don't know. She's got no reaction other than she's mad at them for wasting her time watching this video because she hasn't been able to sleep and she's been throwing up and
yeah. How dare you have the audacity to question me?
Exactly. None of this is normal behavior.
It's not. But I honestly believe in her head, she's already processed his death. And in her head, she doesn't have any doubt about her intentions. She knows she did not intend this to happen. And there's where the line is drawn for her. Internally, she's perhaps more horrified than we might think due to the way she's coming across. But because in her head, she doesn't have that doubt about how responsible she is, it's easier for her to be more
Yeah.
assertive still, right? And that's incredible to imagine. But I
Yeah.
think that's what's going on in her head.
And somebody said in chat, I can't find it right now. Oh, hi, Rebby. That, oh, now I forgot what I was going to say. That, yeah, I mean, again, we go back to, she knows she didn't have intent. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional. And anything beyond that, she's really annoyed that they don't believe her. Like,
Yeah.
it's their fault now. Now she's being aggressive because, well, aggressive is a strong word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But how dare you not believe me?
I
So
know.
anything past that, now you're just wasting your time because it doesn't matter because I didn't intend to kill him. So we don't even need to do all this. You're just wasting my time.
Why are we having this conversation?
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's what.
And just to rub it in, at the end of all this, once you're done with these questions that you're insulting me with, I'm going to bring out my demands of you. When am I getting the ring?
Jesus. Jesus.
When's the funeral? Right? I mean, when can I start preparing for the funeral? Just the most out of context questions.
Yeah, and how she just says here, I can't take any more of this. I can't. Like, basically, like, okay, so I told you I didn't intend to kill him. Conversation's over. Let's stop this. I don't want to do this anymore. You're torturing me. This is stupid. We want to get to my list, and I want to get home to my alcohol, is what I perceive is going on in her head. But
yeah, and I honestly think that's part of the reason that the interrogators just lose their professionalism. I think they're just in shock, They can't believe that this is a human being.
Agreed.
It's flipped over the other way, closer to your dining room table.
Okay.
Now, he's obviously still in there. So we didn't, how did it go from the back to the front?
I flipped it.
Okay.
My plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep.
Well, that's what you did.
Yeah.
But not intentional.
No, you told me you went upstairs because
What?
you were
Stop
getting
here.
ready for bed.
Stop here.
Okay, but
Where's here?
show me where you can see any fingers coming out, because there's the end.
It's, and his head's right here.
Mm-hmm.
So going like this, rather than going all the way up, it's like this.
But why is he saying I can't breathe, and why is he pushing on it as if he can't get out?
And it doesn't show a hole.
There's no hole. There's no fingers. I don't see his fingers. There's no hole.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't know, like, what you want me to tell you.
I'm just showing you. I'm just telling you what we see and what we've heard from the other video.
I understand.
He's begging for you to let him out. You're laughing in the beginning, and then in the end, it sounds kind of like a...
No, it's not malicious.
Well, saying fuck you.
It's not malicious.
Then what is that?
What does fuck you mean to you?
Well...
Like if I were to tell my
like he does. Like, I get called everything but a white woman, so...
Okay.
My intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself out, but the video shows
That's
at
what
no
I
point
told you.
can I see his fingers.
He'll be out here any minute.
And then 30 minutes later, he didn't show.
And he's telling you
And I
he
didn't
can't
wake
breathe.
up.
Do you think
not
he's
able to get out.
joking? You told me he was laughing, and
We were
the
before.
video, there's no
When we
laughing.
first got in there, both of us were.
So how long was he in there for? Like, this video is at 11:12 when it starts, so was he in there for like a long time prior to recording this?
No.
So it goes from funny to no longer funny,
But
you're the only one laughing.
But I didn't think that he was, like, panicky. Like,
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, 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 I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before, too, where it's just like he thinks that he's woe is me kind of thing, where it's like,
He's never been locked in a suitcase. That's where he couldn't get out. So
it's kind of, I thought it was the boy
oxygen
crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan.
But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking. He is begging, and you're the only one laughing,
Okay.
and you're the only one saying derogatory comments, like you're mad.
No, please don't, I don't mean to sound negative, and I don't know if I can say this, but like, it's like you guys are kind of trying to like feed me. Like,
no, I'm just trying to show you a video that you no longer want to watch because you probably don't want to know the outcome of how and what you said.
Well, I know what.
You know what's on that video now?
No.
You remember making that video?
No.
Why don't you remember making the video?
Probably because we had been drinking.
But you weren't drunk.
No. Just because I went upstairs and, just
You
because
told
you're
us-
drunk doesn't mean that you.
times that you were not drunk. You said that you had your wits about you. You said he had his wits about you.
Mm-hmm.
You said that you don't like not having your wits. In my experience, if somebody cannot remember doing something to the extent of making 2 videos and a video and taking a photo, they are intoxicated.
Okay. I understand where you all are coming from.
Well, we're just trying to make sense of it. We're trying to figure out what
We're trying
you're
to
saying.
figure out this
You
video.
explain it to us. We're listening.
I just did. Like, we were playing, and then, like, I thought it was, my plan was not to go upstairs and go to sleep. My plan was not to, he'll be up here any minute.
But
But
you
again-
willingly went upstairs and went to sleep. No one forced you to go upstairs and get
My
ready
plan
for
wasn't
bed.
also to leave him in the suitcase,
So why didn't you take him out?
because I went upstairs, and then I fell asleep.
But why didn't you consciously think he's asking to come out? He
I
can't
didn't do it
breathe.
What
intentionally.
do you think is going to happen if you leave somebody in a confined space like that?
Well, I thought by not zipping it up all the way, it would be okay. My plan was not to leave him in the
And what was
suitcase,
your plan?
waiting for him to come upstairs.
And then when he did it?
I fell asleep.
You said you were up there 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, somebody not coming up.
Knowing that that the last time you saw him was in the suitcase, 30 minutes later, you're like, maybe I should go check on him? Maybe I shouldn't?
No.
That didn't cross your mind because
That's like an assumption. Like, that's what you all are thinking. Just,
We're asking.
it's the
You
whole,
tell us.
it's the drinking. That's what it is. It's the drinking. I thought it was like, I thought he was okay. Like, I didn't,
He's telling you he's not. He's telling you, Sarah, I can't breathe. He's saying your name and you're like, that's my name, don't wear it out.
Guys, that's how we are with each other. Like, nobody understands our relationship. The whole suitcase thing never happened before.
Would you leave someone else in a suitcase? Would you leave Lucas in a suitcase jokingly? Because it was a
No.
joking matter. You put him in there jokingly. Would you leave Lucas jokingly in there? And you love Lucas, right? And you love
I wouldn't do
George.
that to him either. I wouldn't do that to him.
So I just.
Well, it's not like, again, I don't think you all understand. Like, it's not that was not my intention.
Well,
y'all don't have any idea what
by
I've
your
done for
acts,
him.
But by your acts, and that's exactly right. You get to the point where you've done so much for somebody and they don't show
No.
you any appreciation.
He did.
Not by your words in the video. I don't get that.
He did.
Because you bring up the fact that when he's choking you, you can't breathe. That's how you felt when he cheated on you. You couldn't breathe. And you verbally several times told him just fuck you.
Well, you said it in the video, but you won't
video.
let us play the rest of it. 'Cause you don't
And
want to.
When I
told
say
him-
cheating, it's on his phone.
Okay. Cheating is cheating.
I
And if
think
you
so
say-
too.
Exactly.
It's your definition of cheating, though. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's what the word cheat means.
And that's what you told him in the video. That I couldn't breathe when you cheated on me.
No.
That's how I felt when he said, Sarah, I can't breathe. And you told him,
I don't know
fuck you.
what this is.
What would you
life
say
changing.
if somebody told you that they had done this?
Done what?
Set somebody in a suitcase and went up and went to bed.
Do you all not think, so you all think that it's like, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you guys are trying to assume? Or trying to, like,
We're just, the video is very portraying of the opposite of what you told us.
no.
It does not it is not leading up, it is not matching what statement you gave us in the car.
So,
And that's why we want to know.
and I don't remember doing those.
The injuries are not consistent with what you told us. So we have a lot of inconsistencies, and this video explains itself. It really, truly does.
You don't think that I have thought about that?
Thought about the video or thought about...
But no, again, if you don't mind, please. So you all are assuming that it's like, oh, good, I got him in there, now I'm going to go to sleep? Is that what you all are assuming?
Well, it's not an assumption when that's what you told us that happened.
That's what happened.
And the video...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
But I'm not going to say...
You thought he could get out on his own. But the video shows that he cannot get out on his own.
But when I unzipped it with one finger.
From the outside.
But it had the hole in it.
And you're claiming that it had a paper clip, so that's what assisted you in doing it.
No.
Is what you told us.
When I had my sweatshirt, I said I thought it had a paper clip on it. It's got...
But the zipper part is broken.
Yes, which is why we were going to zip it.
Yeah.
I just...
You were able to unzip it from the outside very easily, because that's the way they're designed.
But you could on the inside, too. I don't know how...
But why wouldn't he have gotten himself out if he could?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if you saw, like, where the hole was. I don't know.
I didn't see a hole.
No,
I didn't see no fingers sticking out.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's in one position, and where his head would be, we should be able to see fingers. And then when it's flipped over onto this right side, again, his head is closer to us facing the video, so we should be able to see fingers, and we don't see anything. We see no movement of him trying to unzip it or physically unzipping it. All we see is pushing up, trying to push out of it.
Please do not assume.
I'm not assuming. I haven't assumed anything. I follow evidence.
But my intention was not, again, oh, good, I got him in there. Now I'm just going to go to sleep.
What do you think someone that knows nothing about this or hears just a little bit like, oh, they were playing around in a suitcase
She's been drinking
and then watches
probably
that
went
video.
to sleep. That's what happened.
But you let him out before. I mean, you put him in, so why didn't you take him out?
Because I was upstairs and I fell asleep.
No, before you went upstairs. You like consciously had to walk upstairs. I mean, you obviously remember going to bed because you were able to give me a time frame on that. And you specifically told me that you went upstairs.
My intention is not for this to happen. I am sick about it. I've never done anything like this before in the past. I'm sick. Especially with that. I thought I couldn't sleep last night. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. You tell us the last night, you vividly remember this when you told us last night that he was laughing, you were laughing, you put him in the suitcase, he has two fingers sticking out, and you go to bed. Now we see something totally different, and it actually shows you upset and, again, using derogatory terms to him when he's begging for his life to get out of that suitcase. So what,
but my thing
you
is
say we're assuming, we're not assuming,
but
we're
the
telling
fingers,
you it's on there.
so it just happened to be that whenever I was videotaping or doing whatever else it was, just happened to not have that in it.
Okay. And you also in the video, you can't see any holes. There's nowhere in that where the zipper separates and you can see a hole. If there's a hole, he's pushing on it, begging you to get out. We should probably see that hole.
He eventually would have been able to get out.
Huh.
Alcohol.
Based off what you're telling us, he should have been able to get out.
Okay.
But the video shows him attempting to get out, begging to get out, and he can't. So that's just what we're trying to figure out. I don't know if maybe you had too much to drink, you zipped it up all the way, and then, you know.
I did not zip it up all the way. Okay. Well, I did not zip it up all the way. This is horrific, okay? Horrific.
It is terrible.
Yeah,
horrific. I don't think I'll ever be right because of this. Ever be right. Dealing with everything else that I have in my life, personally. And then this, whom I loved, it was not intentional. I will put my hand on the Bible. It was not intentional. I would not do that to him nor anyone else.
But you did.
Not intentional.
You intentionally went up to bed.
I didn't intentionally go to bed because I'm thinking, okay, good, he can get out.
How did you not intentionally go to bed? You said you went upstairs and got into bed. That's intentionally going to bed.
Waiting for him.
And he doesn't come, but you don't go down to check on him.
So I happen to go to sleep. When I say go to sleep,
and what do you normally do when you go to bed?
Do.
What do you normally do when you go to bed?
What do you mean?
What is a bed for? Going to sleep.
Right.
So you go to
bed to do what? But
obviously
you can tell too that, like, I've been drinking also.
To do what? Okay. You kept telling us, hey, I wasn't intoxicated. I wasn't this. I wasn't that.
Being drunk and intoxicated, which, yes, okay. You can tell that I had been drinking, but.
Okay. So if you weren't intoxicated, then why would you ever leave somebody in a suitcase that's begging to get out, that's telling you they can't breathe?
If I hadn't been drinking, you still think it would be the same thing? Where it's like, hop in, I'm going to go to sleep. Is that what you all are trying to do? To portray me as?
We're not trying to do anything. I'm simply asking you to explain to me what happened.
Everything was fine and dandy.
Everything call it fine and dandy.
Was fine and dandy. You all don't. Okay, for me to tell you this again, mind you, I've been without him for a day now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you all want me to tell you because this was not in any way, shape, or form, hand on the Bible, intentional.
Okay. So you just left him there to
I didn't kill him.
You left him there to teach him a lesson?
I didn't mean to leave him there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You got up and walked away. How is that not intentionally leaving him there?
Because I'm looking at the hole, knowing that it's there. He'll get out no harm. Because you don't.
And then he doesn't. But you don't go check on him.
As we all know from watching a whole bunch of interrogations, like we're so familiar with the techniques that are used, you know, the read technique and things, that it's almost always the case that you try and bring the suspect, the culprit, closer to an admission that seems less horrendous than the actual truth, you know. And you can only do that by finding some sort of mutual harmony, something to relate with the with who you're interviewing. And there's just no attempt to do that. It feels like all they want, their only intention is to get her to understand how horrendous this is. What she did was such a sin, which is fine for us as observers because it's fascinating to watch. But in terms of professional interrogation, they were just winging it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the read technique is one of the most popular ones that we know. I know there are other techniques. I don't know what they are, but I can't imagine this is a technique. I mean, this is like listening to two teenagers argue. Yeah. He keeps saying the same thing over and over, and she keeps not answering the question over and over and over. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, it's incredible, and they know they're being filmed, right? I mean, all interrogations are filmed now. I mean, granted, they might not know it's going to become a viral video on YouTube, but it is now. Now that the behavioral panel has covered this and ripped them to shreds, then
yeah,
they certainly know about it now.
Argumentative, that's the right word. Yes. Being very argumentative.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like
they can't stop taking it personal.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's kind of like when you're talking to your teenagers and you're like, no, I know you did this. This is why. So you just expect them to back down at some point and go, okay, you're right, I was wrong, I shouldn't have done that, da 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 da. And that's almost what they kind of expect from her. If they just say it 75 times, that finally she'll just go, you're right, you're right. And that's not an interrogation, that's just an argument.
Yeah, they're trying to get her from A to Z, you know, without all the steps in between.
You say you're up for 30 minutes and he doesn't come up. You don't go down and check on him?
I'm in the bed.
You even move,
And so
you admit to moving the suitcase, like, over. So
You roll it.
You roll it over. Like, it's not like...
I didn't want it to be like that. Don't.
You didn't want him to be upside down? How do you even get upside down?
Right. You guys are killing me right now.
I just want you to hear.
Just got to say that was a poor choice of words. Really. Very poor choice of words.
I missed that. Sorry, I missed that. I was looking at chat.
She says, you guys are killing me right now. Poor choice of words. Bad.
Yeah. Not good.
Right. You guys are killing me right now.
I just want you to hear.
That's how he talks to me most of the time. I don't know how you want me to say it.
I'm just trying to figure out what you would expect to happen to somebody when you leave them in a suitcase.
I didn't mean to leave him in there.
Okay.
What's your reasoning for not calling 911 sooner?
Because I didn't know what to do and how horrific it was. I called Ryan, and like what, 5 minutes later I called you guys? Not even 5 minutes. Nonetheless, that I had to I was trying to do CPR. I had to get him out and try to do CPR and then called you guys. And then was continually doing CPR with the dispatch on the phone, where he had me count out loud to help me focus on what I was doing.
It just, I don't know how, I mean, you can sit here all day long and say, I thought he was going to get himself out, but that he didn't. And you went upstairs and you stayed there for 30 minutes before you fell asleep.
But can I say too, like,
you chose not to ever at any point during that 30 minutes walk back down and check on him.
No, wait 1 second. Because I know, like, with you all, and then, like, because you continually ask me, like, time frames, where I told you, like, I don't bother even looking at the clock most of the time. So it's like a guesstimate. So for all I know, maybe it was 10 minutes.
Okay. But the point is, you left the living room where he was begging for help and went upstairs. Regardless of how long you were there, you left. You say,
I thought he was the boy calling wolf. Again.
Okay.
So when he asked to be let out, like, what's your reasoning for not letting him out?
When I was upstairs?
No, when he's asking on the video, he asked multiple times. He asked to be let out. I can't breathe. Why didn't you let him out?
Well, number one, I had no idea it was going to end like that.
Okay.
Number one.
Okay.
Number two, just, you know what? I'll give you 5 minutes or so in there. They'll give you 5 minutes or so.
5 minutes for what?
Well, based off the video, one video is at 11:12 and the next one's at 11:23. So you actually gave him at least 11 minutes per video recording. So my thing is, when it stopped, he asked multiple times. I mean, why? Why did you not let him out? It's just a simple question.
To be honest with you, I mean.
See, Cheryl, that was the point there. That was their cue to respond to her acknowledgement there. She just said, well, you know what, I thought I'll leave you in there. I'll let you suffer for 5 minutes, right?
Yep.
That was their cue to go, okay, well, let's work with that. Why, what made you want to do that? You know,
Yeah.
kind of try and minimize it a little bit. But they just want her to know the full sin and nothing else.
Right. That's what I was thinking when she said that. And then the female cop jumps in. Well, it's been 11 minutes. So again, that's just more of an argumentative statement. They're not responding to anything she says with follow-up questions. They're just coming back saying, you're wrong. And we know it's, I don't know. I mean, it's almost like they want to prove to her that they know all this information and they know she's lying as much as she wants to prove to them there was no intent, so it's just like this push-pull thing, and it's so frustrating to watch.
I know.
They're not taking any cues from her, and the times that they talk over each other, while she's talking, one of them will interrupt, and then the other one talks over the other one. Then all of a sudden you got three people talking. It's wow.
And they're not even taking, there's not distinct roles for either of them. They're both just chipping in whenever. It's like they've not prepared anything.
It's like a mom and dad going after the kid who they know took the car out, and the kid's trying to say, I didn't take the car out. I mean, it's like tag teaming, and it's not getting anywhere. It's just not. And I can't even believe at this point, as professionals, that they're sitting there thinking, well, this is going well. I mean, I think they're getting caught up in their own emotions too, because the longer it goes on, the more angrier they seem to be getting. Because they can't just get her to go, you're right, I did this, blah blah blah. I don't know.
You said something the other day that maybe because they knew that they had the ace in the hole in terms of the video footage, that they didn't really feel the need to kind of press for anything,
Maybe. I mean, I don't think that that's a very good way for, anybody that knows, we're just true crime fans, and we know that anything can happen with a case and a trial. So you try to get every single thing you can, right? And they just don't seem to be trying that.
Yeah, I know. Again,
it's frustrating. Man, I hope the trial isn't like this. Good Lord. Somebody made a comment too. Bitey Cat, about his shirt. The behavioral panel, one of the guys honed in on that too. Like something like, he looks like he's getting ready to go to a nightclub or something.
Oh yeah, with his
shiny shirt is whatever, the silky whatever it is. I don't know. Hey,
that's
it's
pretty
Florida.
garish.
But it's Florida. We all know anything goes in Florida, like putting your boyfriend in a suitcase to play hide and seek. Anything goes in Florida.
Casey Anthony was Florida, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's usually Ohio or Florida. No offense to Florida or Ohio, but every time you go to watch one of those videos on YouTube about some case, it's usually Ohio or Florida. You're like, man, I'm just staying away from the East Coast.
Were you punishing them?
No, just.
Well, that's what you're saying in the video.
This is what you got. This is what you make me feel like.
See, and then it's all backfired on me. Like, it's all backfired on me. And I understand the severity of this.
You did it.
It's awful, I know.
Okay.
It's awful.
And there is the anger in Sarah Boone. Wow. There's a moment coming up where she turns really sharply towards this male detective here, and he almost trembles. It's coming up at some point. She certainly has a temper.
And I will tell you both this right now, too. I will never drink alcohol again.
Okay.
Like, I will never drink alcohol again. I don't care what it is, in any way,
go home.
form.
Let's get back to this.
It's the kind of thing you've heard said a million times.
Well,
I will never drink again after last night when I fell down the stairs or whatever.
Right, as opposed to the other day when I put my boyfriend in a suitcase and he died. I will never drink again. So we're good here now. We're good. Can we look at my list now, please? We good?
Yeah.
I promise. I'm never going to drink again. We're done.
I'm drawing a line in the sand after that night. That was a
just
crazy
so
night.
weird. Oh, okay.
What was the reason for leaving him when he's begging to be let out? I don't understand that.
What I have a feeling was, and again, it's the whole time frame thing. You all keep
I'm not asking a time frame. I don't care about a time frame. He's
So-
in the bag saying, I can't
my
breathe.
God.
And you say, fuck you.
When he, so like, for like the whole few minutes that he was in there, like
Minimum 11, but yes, go ahead. With you. 11, minimum.
For the one video.
Well, in between those 2 videos. it's
Between the 2
11
videos?
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the question again?
When he's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe, let me out, and you say, fuck you, why don't you just let him out? What are you trying to prove to him? There was obviously something in your head that you were thinking of when he was asking to be let out, and you're like, no,
Again, it's the
no.
boy calling wolf.
Okay, but where does this game end? You say this is a game, you got somebody in
Obviously,
there.
like the wrong way.
So what was your intention for leaving him in there?
And it's not fair. It is not fair. You guys are trying to, again, he's in there. Night, night.
That's what happened.
No.
That's absolutely what happened.
Intentionally.
How's it not? You got up off the couch, walked up the flight of stairs, and got in your bed.
Thinking he was going to get out.
And he didn't, and you still didn't go down and check
And it's
on
the whole 30-minute thing that you guys are trying
I don't
to
care
do,
about 30
whatever.
minutes.
It's like, for all I know,
He's
it's
begging
10
for
minutes.
his life. He's begging for his life, telling you he can't breathe.
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, I don't. I didn't intentionally mean for this to happen.
But you
Then what
can't
did you
tell us
intend?
why you left him in there and went upstairs. That's my only issue. Like, what am I supposed to write? What do I write?
So my thing is, though, it's what I have a feeling is I went upstairs and just hit the bed kind of thing. But again, I'm thinking he'll be up here in a minute. But then I go out.
But my question is, why didn't you just let him out prior to going up?
I don't know why.
He's begging to be let out. He's not laughing. He's not having fun.
Right,
You said this
know.
was supposed to be fun. You were laughing before. Before you said he was laughing, you were laughing. You went upstairs. He had his fingers out of the bag and he was playing. Well, obviously that's not the case.
So are you guys, so what is it you're trying to, like?
We're just trying to figure out why.
Why? What?
Why?
What was the motivation for leaving him in the bag?
Why he was left in the bag? Why the
I
video?
didn't have any motivation. It was me, he and I having a great day, fooling around and being stupid, and apparently me going upstairs and hitting the bed, not going to sleep, where it's like, I'm tired now, I'm going to go to sleep.
That's excluding, that's a good analogy for the day, excluding the fact that he's got a bump on the back of his head, a bump on the front of his head, and his lip is busted, and he has a bump on his eye.
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. Like, this is not fair at all,
Yes.
that you all are assuming that that's from me.
Where else did it come
If
from?
you were, say it's opposite, you were in the suitcase and you're asking to be let out, would you hope that that person would let you out? Like, you're asking to be let out of a suitcase, should they not let you out?
Eventually. I'm guessing. I'm blaming it on the wine.
Blaming it on the wine.
So you guys are like assuming that.
You keep saying we're assuming, oh, we're not, we haven't assumed
Asking
anything.
questions.
But you guys are assuming that that's what I did.
No, by what,
Like,
the facts of what happened. We got there, you said you pulled him out of the suitcase, you said you went up, you went to bed. We're not assuming that. These are the facts that you're telling us.
But
now
what you said is
you
like,
to
oh, I'm
explain them.
tired. Oh, I'm tired.
Well, that's what you told me on a sworn recorded statement yesterday. Because when I said, oh, you went upstairs and passed out, you were like, no, I did not pass out. You got attitude with me because you were thought I was assuming that you were drunk. So that's an assumption. That was an assumption when I said you passed out. And guess what? You corrected me.
You were very adamant about the fact that both of you had your wits about you. What's your favorite word to use?
Compass mentis.
You've used it today too, to say that you guys are within your wits. There's two empty bottles of wine.
No, but we didn't drink both of them.
I think you did.
We didn't.
There's receipts for the
They were
saving
both
back day.
purchased yesterday, so I don't know how you didn't, because they weren't there the day before.
The one
There's
was.
two Publix receipts from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing purchased on either one was a single bottle of wine, 2 of them. So we have each bottle of wine that was empty in your garbage can that you purchased yesterday, or he purchased, but you two would have consumed together.
Okay, well, I
mean, there's receipts, so it's not even worth the going back.
So this is, so I don't know what you guys are, I don't know.
We were just hoping that we could figure out why you.
What was the motivation?
There was no motivation.
Wow.
Well, we're watching a video that, after talking to you, everything was laughing and fun. Now we're watching a video where it's not laughing and fun. He's begging for his life, and you are in a very angry voice telling him to fuck off.
No.
Yes,
It's not.
that's absolutely what it was. It's not an assumption. The video is there. We played it for you.
So you guys think that I intentionally?
You did.
It
You got up
doesn't matter
off the couch
It doesn't
and
matter
walked
what
up
we
the couch,
think.
or walked up the stairs and got into bed. That was intentional. There's no way getting around that. You intentionally did that. Nobody drugged you up there. You didn't float up damn stairs.
Okay, well, it's not fair. It's not fair that you guys keep trying to say that that's what I did.
I don't know what to tell you.
You told us that. You didn't go upstairs?
Again, there was a hole in a suitcase. I unzipped it from the hole with one finger.
Well, the damn hole didn't do him no good, did it?
But he could push it open.
No, he
Did he?
couldn't.
The video
No.
shows
Shows him pushing up.
And
If he could push it open, why wouldn't he have gotten out himself? Why would he beg you to open it?
I tell
Okay.
you, he can't breathe.
Okay.
If
I-
someone
I-
can do something for themselves, they're going to do it. They don't need assistance unless they need assistance.
So, but why would he start doing it?
Because he couldn't, because it was all the way zipped.
Okay.
Didn't see it.
It wasn't. I intentionally didn't do it. That I intentionally did not do.
What's that? You didn't intentionally do what?
Zip it all the way. He nor I.
Well, he's dead as a result
Laid
of your
hands
action.
on each other.
He's dead as a result of
I
your
understand
action.
that.
So,
That's why
You
this.
two didn't lay hands on each other.
No. No. I don't have anything.
You're right.
He doesn't. Whatever that is, whatever it
He
is.
does.
See, this is what happens. It's not fair that you guys, just because he has those, automatically blame it on me. Like,
well,
Where
what
else
about
are we gonna
when
go?
you had your injuries and he gets arrested? Is that not fair?
really? Like,
It's
really?
the exact same thing.
Really?
He has injuries. You have injuries. Like, what does that mean?
I don't have any injuries.
Correct.
Because
So
he and
nothing
I
happened to
have
you.
not been at it with one another.
So every time that you guys fight, you both hit each other? So you should have probably
No.
gone to jail all those times that he went to jail
No.
for domestic?
Well, the one time I did. But he completely trashed the police report. Because that's nothing what happened. Because the reason why I got taken in was because my story was different than his. So I'm being portrayed as like this abuser.
We're not saying that he doesn't abuse you.
Absolutely.
We're not saying.
So I'm the one
Alright,
that's being
killer.
portrayed as the abuser.
Because he
I have never dealt with anything like this before. I don't know what to do, how to do it, and I always know what to do and how to do it. This, I don't know. So I don't know, like, what's going on or, like...
We are simply trying to find out as well. Again, we got one side of the story. You're telling us, we're going with what you're saying, but then we find stuff that negates what you're telling us.
And I don't even remember doing that.
Okay. You're telling us that we're assuming stuff, but what we're simply doing is telling you what we saw in the video and
I
repeating what
understand.
you told us.
I understand. Because I don't remember that.
Okay. Doesn't mean it didn't happen just because you don't remember it.
So is the texting thing something about me? Like, what's...
The what? Texting? Oh, no, I'm texting.
No,
You guys are scaring me, so, like, I don't know, like, what to expect. I mean, I had questions of things that needed to be taken care of, like, I don't.
What are your questions?
I have one last question. You realize you're the person that killed him, right?
I thought about that.
Okay, you left him in a bag when he's begging you, saying, I can't breathe, let me out, and you said, fuck you. And you got up off the couch and went upstairs and left him in that bag.
Not intentionally.
Again,
I would never do that to George.
you did.
Not intentionally. Know that.
I don't.
Know that.
You got up and you went up to bed.
Alcohol is a shitty thing. It's alcohol.
So
Not, again.
the reason that you killed him?
You all,
Please sit down.
listen to me.
Please sit down.
You all, listen.
And as bizarre as it is, she's telling the absolute truth here.
About the alcohol?
About pretty much everything in the last, I don't know, what, 10 minutes or so. I mean, she's not saying a lot. She's essentially just saying that it wasn't intentional. I didn't mean this to happen. And she's blaming it on the alcohol.
Right.
I mean,
so they need, part of that read technique. That's where they could come in and say, okay, so is it possible that you didn't realize he didn't have his fingers out or whatever when you went upstairs? Give her that little bit of an out, right? But they're not going to do that. They're just going to keep arguing with her.
I know.
And somebody needs to get that female cop a cough drop. I know this is so stupid, but her constant coughing is annoying.
It gets annoying.
She needs a cough drop. Actually, when I first thought about this, I thought, oh, this happened at the beginning of COVID. Oh.
It did.
Wonder. Anyways, I'll go on mute now.
I did not intentionally kill him.
So your intention.
I don't know what it is I need to
punish
do
him?
or how to do it or what to say or how to say it.
But what was your intention?
Everyone knows. Everyone knows everything that I've done for George and love him and continuously helped him throughout his life with me and made him a happier, better person.
And everybody has their limits.
Everyone knows that.
Everybody has their limits.
So it's like, okay, so while we're in a good place right now, I'm going to snap. Is that what it, while we're in a good place right now?
You did.
Yes. Absolutely. I got you on video screaming, fuck you.
This is what it feels like when you're choking me. This is what it feels like.
Which was however long ago. You said
The
it.
videos was from last night.
Clearly,
So it wasn't that,
inside you.
yeah.
there's still feelings towards it. You wouldn't say it if you didn't feel it.
But I would never do that.
But it happened, and you did.
But you
But
did.
that's after being playful
But no one's
and
laughing.
having a good day.
No one's laughing except you.
Everybody's
I would hate to see
having
a
a
bad
good day. Oh, I'm sorry?
I would hate to see a bad day.
Y'all are making me out to be a person that I'm not. Or will I ever be.
Or are you a different person when you're drunk?
People have different personalities after they consume alcohol.
It depends. Well,
Because you're sober now, so sober you.
Nice
Well, what
person,
about drunk
easy
you?
going.
not, it's both of us. It's both of us. And it's not fair that you all are assuming that the marks that he has on him are from me.
We asked you where they came from.
I have no idea.
Well, nobody else was there, so nobody else was
I
there.
have no idea. I swear I did not lay a hand on him,
Okay. You just zipped them in the bag.
nor he.
You just zipped them in the bag. And then you flipped the bag around several times.
I didn't do that intentionally.
You didn't intentionally flip the bag around?
No, why would I do that?
Well, you
Good
told us
question,
you
you
did.
did.
When he was upside down.
Right.
Well, you had to put them upside down.
You can't get in a suitcase upside down
Yeah.
because the
Oh my
what
gosh.
you put the
See,
stuff
and that's
in
the
is where his
unfortunate.
body was.
That's the unfortunate thing too, is nobody else was there. That's the
We have a
unfortunate
video
thing.
showing the suitcase in several different positions. So it shows, one, like she just said, it had to have been on its back with the lid open for him to get in there, for you to zip it up. Then it shows it on the other side with him in it, so you had to flip it to there. Then there's another video where it's on its back again, so you had to flip it
I'm leaving it like this, please. I'm leaving it like this. I did not intentionally do this. No malicious content or effort was towards this. No malicious.
I would say
point
this
of
does
the
help you sleep, but you're not sleeping, so.
I mean,
Last night, I maybe got an hour.
Right.
in your voice, you can hear the maliciousness. The fuck you is very, very.
You don't talk to people like that. That's not like a common, like,
Nope.
hey, Scott, fuck you.
Thank you.
That's not common. It's not something people do. And no one that sees that is going to think that.
Okay.
So we were trying to give you an opportunity, and it is what it is.
There's no maliciousness towards that.
I would probably be telling myself that too
My
after that
intent,
video.
my intent was not for that to happen.
But you went upstairs and went to bed. Or maybe you passed out, I don't know. Whichever.
Waiting for him. And the whole time frame thing, it's like, it's regardless, that's not really fair.
Regardless, waiting for him, it's not like you walked up the stairs. You can't fly up the stairs. No one can take you up the stairs.
Okay.
You go up the stairs, you lay in the bed, and you wait for him. Who cares if it's 5 minutes? Who cares if it's 30 freaking seconds? He's begging for his life. He's begging to get out. You go upstairs.
You leave them.
It doesn't matter. So get the time frame out of your mind.
This whole thing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there's this. So it doesn't matter anything what it is I say. So it makes no difference whatsoever.
It's just you're lying and like you're now changing your story.
Lying about what?
You're now you were drunk.
Oh, I never said that I was drunk.
Exactly, but you did here today. That's okay.
You said earlier.
Everything recorded.
Alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol.
You blamed it on the alcohol. Alcohol does a lot to people.
Yes, but I never said I was drunk.
Okay.
You did.
So you did this. You did this sober. You knowingly left him down there sober.
I have already told both of you also that we were both drinking.
Right.
Okay.
But you want to admit that you were drunk? Is that?
I'm telling you all both. This has changed my life. I will take this. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a true statement.
Absolutely. But you're trying to dance around the fact that you.
So, but what do you?
leave
Okay,
him there.
just.
You left them in there. You're trying to
Oh my
dance around the
gosh,
fact you left them in there.
This is not.
You didn't leave him in there?
It's not cool. Like, this is not cool.
It's not cool.
That it.
He's dead. It's
But
not
you
cool.
think that I did that intentionally. You think that I did that intentionally.
You intentionally left him in there and left the room. You went upstairs to a different room.
You intentionally did that.
You did.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking he's going to get out.
Okay, and he didn't.
Obviously not.
When somebody's begging, saying, I
But
can't
when you
breathe.
say that, though, but you have to,
Please let me out. I can't breathe.
don't know George, though. Like, again, I thought it was the boy crying wolf. So it's just like, what?
Oh, so if your son was in there and said, I can't breathe, are you going to open it, or is he 9, so he's not,
Really?
it's not a big deal. I'm just valid question.
Oh, you said you would never put your son in a suitcase. You would only put George in there.
No, George got in a suitcase.
And you zipped it up.
Not all the way and not intentionally to leave him there.
But that's what happened. You keep going away from it.
I don't know.
That's exactly what happened. You went up to bed, woke up the next
Are
day.
you all trying to have me admit that? Like, are you trying to have me admit that? Because I will never admit it because it's not true. It's not true.
I'm basically stating as a fact because that's what happened.
Okay.
You videotaped him asking to be let out. You go upstairs.
So what, guys? So what? Like, just, I don't know what you want me to say other than it was not out of maliciousness or intentional. I don't know what or how I can say it. I love George. Love him. To this day still. Love him.
Love makes you do crazy things.
It's not one of those things where it's like, oh gosh, you know what? I've done enough for you at this point. I never gave up on him.
Okay.
why I'm here today, I'm still not giving up on him. I would do anything for him.
Well, you gave up checking up on him. So.
Wouldn't let him out of the suitcase.
Oh gosh. Okay.
They're unbelievable. They're just like being snarky now with her, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
No notion to doing their job whatsoever.
It's like they're mad, you know? It's the little smart ass comments that you make when you're in an argument with a friend or your kid or your spouse, or you know, it's just little smart ass comments, and it's clearly not going the way that I think that they want it. I don't know what they think. I think they're just irritated.
Incredible. I don't think there's too much more of this back and forth. There's a bit I want to see where she almost snaps. And then I'll go up at the very end. She brings her list of demands out.
Yeah, because to be honest, this is hard to watch. This is why it took me so long. I mean, it took me days to watch this. I could only watch so much, and then I'd get so frustrated. I'd have to turn it off. It's really difficult to watch. I mean, it just reminds me of two teenage. I just want to smack them all and tell them all to shut the hell up.
I know. Yeah, they just should have been. I mean, there couldn't have been anyone. Normally, there'll be someone observing an interrogation, and if it's not going right, they'll make adjustments. You know, they'll maybe change up the interrogators. But
I don't know if that happens all the time for every interrogation.
Well,
I mean,
not all the time, yeah.
Yeah,
but,
and this one may not have been, you know, quote unquote big. I mean, sorry if anybody's from Florida, but considering some of the cases we've seen come out of Florida, like the craziness, like this, I mean, this is odd, but I don't know if anybody was watching. I would hope but I would hope there's not a third investigator watching and being okay with this.
I know, right?
Simply just trying to go through, I mean, again, you gave us a completely different story that you churched up to. This was such a laughing matter.
It was fun.
Not by that
all
video.
Day, all day.
That video, that
all
part
day.
wasn't. Anybody looking at it, I don't think anybody would look at that video and go, George is having fun right now.
So why is it you all think that y'all don't know me, you don't know me,
Nope.
would do something like that, especially having a 9-year-old son?
I don't know.
Like why?
9-year-old son would be.
Like
why are you so like caught on what we think?
Yeah.
When
because
you should be more
like
concerned about what you told us.
It's because like you guys are like trying
the things that the video shows that are opposite of what you told us, and then what you've now
like
told
what
us
is opposite?
Today. Well, you said that it was funny, and you're the only one laughing.
We were playing before that.
Okay.
But then it stops.
Yeah.
It obviously stops being fun.
Well,
because you're screaming at him, he's begging to get out.
Screaming at him.
Sounds like screaming at me.
I don't know what you all want me to tell you. In no way, shape, or form was this intentional. At all. Ever.
Few minutes, but then it obviously changes. The whole demeanor of this whole situation completely changes. It's not the funny, laughing matter. He's not laughing at all.
I didn't think he was being serious.
You absolutely sound serious.
I didn't think so. Like, just.
You don't think your voice, you sounded serious?
It's, okay. I don't know what you want me to tell you. It was a great day.
Okay.
It didn't end well, obviously.
I was going to say, that's, I mean.
I can't explain to you how horrific it was to find him. Horrific. Because I don't remember taking those videos.
Okay.
How horrific. I'm thinking he's in the bathroom. I'm thinking he's downstairs in the laptop. I can't find him. So what's going to happen? Like,
here's what gets me though, is you don't remember taking videos, you don't know where he is, you don't remember him being in the suitcase, and you're still telling me that you had your wits about you. How does someone have their wits about him when
See, that's the
They
thing
have all
too,
this
right?
stuff.
You can clearly tell that I had been drinking some. You can clearly tell.
I had several people that came up to me in that apartment complex said that you were drunk on a daily basis. And
Oh
you were
my
screaming at
gosh.
him
Right,
regularly.
right.
Really?
Right. Talk to the property
Really?
manager. Talk to the property manager.
Okay.
Because it's not,
These are your neighbors, the ones that live next to you. Your property manager does not live next to you. They see you every day. How many,
Oh
you had
my
two neighbors you went
gosh.
to and asked to go
See,
use the
that is
restroom.
just
and
not
they said,
fair.
No, hold on. You had two different neighbors that lived directly next to you. You asked to use the restroom and they told you no and turned you away. You had to go across the way to somebody else.
no, okay. Kim and Kim is not a nice person.
Okay.
She's just automatically not nice. Even after me and Lucas went over there and introduced ourselves, she's just not a nice person.
Then why would you think she would let you use a restroom?
Because Eli was in there. Eli comes over and talks to us sometimes, which I think pisses Kim off because he comes over and talks to us. The two of them, they're like super standoffish all the time. My neighbors down the street, down the way, their toilet was broken. They had stuff in the bathroom. So then they're like, go over there and try over there.
There's two bathrooms.
I would let somebody go upstairs and use my personal bathroom. That's what the downstairs one is for.
If it's somebody you like, would you? Or somebody you knew?
They're in the process of doing.
Should I use yours? You gotta use yours.
No. I was asking last night because, we had several different.
Saying, I'm not, that you're.
So his probation officer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all inform her or do I need to call her to do what I did to him? Which
You said that we said.
like I said,
Should I use yours? You gotta use yours.
No. I was asking last night because, we had several different people in the
assuming
neighborhood.
that
I think I might have missed the part I was talking about, but this is her here bringing out her list.
Eli and Kim.
Drunk on a regular basis.
Eli and Kim. Okay. Did you ask Vinny next door?
Those are the ones next door that she asked to use the restroom, and they said no.
No, she said no.
Okay.
And like I said, she's not a nice person.
They're coming. What are your questions?
Yep.
I can help you with.
Who's coming?
To do the fingernails.
Yeah, you said that we said.
And you don't have to allow us to do it, just so you know, so don't think that it's.
I don't have a problem.
Okay. Just make sure.
So, am I getting my phone back?
No.
Not today.
What about Lucas's laptop?
No.
Not today.
Not today.
What does that mean?
We're still going through everything.
Oh, that's fine.
You're the one just telling us there's videos that we need to see on it, so we need
That's
to do
fine.
our due diligence that we go through everything.
See, and that backfires on me now too, because now you all think that I had even more, in quotes, intent to do what I did to him, which was not intentional.
What's that?
In that, is that correct?
She's asking about your tag in your hand.
No, but I'm asking if that's correct.
No, I'm not gonna
I'm not
agree to
making
anything that you're saying. I'm not, that you're.
So his probation officer,
Mm-hmm.
do you all inform her or do I need to call her?
We don't have to inform her, so if you would like to call her, you can. Are you saying because he's still on probation?
No, but it's because of the nice lady that she is and all that she's done for him. I didn't know how it was.
Legally, we just have to tell his parents, and we don't go telling. We don't.
Everybody else?
I didn't even know who his probation officer was, so no, I wouldn't go tell.
So the same thing for classes. I need to do that too.
Classes. You need to do what?
Substance abuse class and his battery intervention.
Yeah, we
Something
don't
else I
have
was
to
just
call
getting ready to
him.
ask. So, other than this, so initially, what was the cause of death?
She is still pending because she wants to hold the body for an additional day to see if more of those bruises turn into something bigger. And she's doing some other tests that she's got to do. So she's pending it for now.
So, and that couldn't have been because of him being in the suitcase? Or y'all are saying that I physically did it?
That's what she's determining.
So,
The ones on the head, I asked her, could that have been from the suitcase, and she said she didn't think so.
I didn't touch him, nor did he touch me.
Okay.
I'm leaving it at that.
Okay.
So I don't know if you all know how to do this because so that's what I was going to get ready to ask you. So are you all at,
I don't know why the screen went off there. Sorry about this. There we go.
dating his parents today or when you get final whatevers?
What does it matter what we tell his parents? What do you mean?
Because
we're gonna talk with them.
Yeah.
okay,
I have to.
but it's going to come down to me.
What do you mean?
Right. So it's being put on me.
Who said that?
But I'm not. So what is it you would tell them?
We're gonna give them an update, just like we gave you an update on their autopsy.
Okay. So it's whatever
Well,
bruise,
here's the thing.
whatever on the head.
We had to deliver news to them last night that their son was dead. There's not a whole lot of conversation that goes on after that. It's not a very easy thing.
Was it yesterday or Sunday? Sunday. Today's Tuesday, right?
Did we not meet you yesterday? We met you yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. Right? Did we not meet yesterday?
It's a valid question.
Really? Yes, on Monday.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Perfect.
So I don't know if I asked you guys or how I find this out other than talking to his parents, which is not going to happen.
Yeah, probably a terrible idea.
How do you guys suggest me finding out about funeral?
Yeah.
That's not even something that's been probably talked about between the family. That's not something we ask. We have no way of.
I didn't know, that's why I'm asking.
It's
So.
going to be up to them to make the arrangements of what they want to do. Like she just told you this quick, just being told last night, I'll pretty much be willing to wager that they have not even considered what they're going to do.
His body can't even be released,
No.
so.
I've been there with parents, grandparents, and uncles. So I don't know if I have the right to or not, but like I was going to call his former employees whom he really cared for and let them know.
You can call whoever you want.
I just don't want to do something that I'm not supposed to. How do I go about getting his wedding ring, engagement ring?
It's at the medical examiner's office. It'll come to us eventually, and then
It'll be released to
to
the next of kin.
Yeah. Okay.
I bought it for him.
That is a civil issue. It was on his finger, it goes to them, they're the ones that are gonna release it, we don't have any say in that.
So I won't get that back. So for all of this, like, how do I find out what's what, how many, like, what's been found?
What do you mean?
Pillow with stain, swabs of stain from pillow, suitcase.
That will all be sent off to
FDLE.
FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. They do their testing.
So, and then like whatever white can with blood and necktie with blood was from the suitcase.
Correct.
Why would you guys, oh, you'll see it in there, the baseball bat for Lucas and the receipts. And this is just his phone, my phone, and then the laptop.
Yeah, when anything can be released, we will release it, but we are very early in this investigation, and it's not an overnight process, unfortunately.
So what's next?
They're gonna come and swab your fingers.
No, I'm talking about like in the long run. Like, what do I need to like, do I need to be doing something or like?
I can't tell you like, what to do.
I mean, like, so like for, like, I don't understand, like, I don't know if you guys are just gonna like, because it makes it sound like to me, like I'm being accused of something that was not intentional. I'm being accused of it.
Mm-hmm.
And a handful of other things that I'm being accused of.
Okay.
So I don't want to be at home with Lucas and you guys show up.
I understand that.
So
we're still investigating. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
So is there going to be concrete whatever it is, and then it's like, okay, this is what it is kind of thing? Or like, because I've done the whole court thing. I've done the whole attorney thing. I've done whatever. So if I'm not admitting anything about being intentional and I killed George,
Okay.
that's not the situation, but it's trying to be pinned on me.
Okay.
That was not my intent, but it's trying to be pinned on me. So however, or whatever it is I need to do in order for that to be proven, then I need to do so, which is why I'm trying to get my ducks in a row.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking what the next step is other than me getting my nails swabbed.
I mean, you want me to tell you how to not be accused of a crime? Is that what you're asking? Like, I don't know what you
I'm
want.
trying to prepare myself for whatever may need to be done so I can, I guess, stick up for myself.
I mean, I think you're doing just fine. You came, you talked.
I just don't want you guys to, again, show up and Lucas is in the house.
Well, we did tell you yesterday that we don't want to do anything around your son, hence why you came to us. So I don't know why you think that's going to change.
That and or me not just show up back home.
I'm sorry, what? That or what?
Me just not show up. I
Things and
Okay. So it just kind of peters out. Sorry, I can't tear myself away from this, Charlotte. It's tough for me with Sarah. It's just compulsive viewing.
She is.
So-
And I think right now what they're doing is they're kind of stalling because they're waiting for the district attorney to tell them that they have the arrest warrant.
Yeah. No. Yeah, Jenny. She just needs to know how to get her ducks in a row for the long term, right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, him has around. I mean, I don't understand. I forgot that she actually used the word kill. That's the first time she's used, even implied that there was anything. So it's like she's afraid to say it because it's almost like she's afraid, like, I don't want to give them that idea. The old philosophy of you don't talk to your kids about sex because you don't want to give them the idea about sex.
Yeah.
So she won't just come out and say, so am I going to be charged with anything? Am I going to be charged with murder for this? Because you guys really seem to think that this was intentional. And then here we take another shot, like Happy Thought said, and we all end up on the floor. But she can't bring herself to just say those words. You can tell she. But yeah,
it's a I know I keep using the word disassociation. There's no other word that gets close to kind of describing what must be going on with her, you know?
Yeah, because I don't think she's a stupid woman by
No, she's
any
not.
stretch of the imagination,
No.
right? She has to know where they are in this process, but it's like she's just too scared to say it because it's like, well, they probably weren't going to arrest me till I asked them if they were going to arrest me, that kind of a thing.
And
Okay.
Yeah, she still clearly thought she was walking out.
Yeah, she still does. All right, I'm going back on mute because they're about ready to do it, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Jen. Yeah. It's incredible, really, when you think about it, that people still talk to interrogators these days.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I've said this before, but my mom worked for the court system for 30 years. She was a deputy magistrate for a lot of those years. We were taught from a very young age, don't ever speak to the police, even as a witness. You just, I mean, if you see a crime out on this, but if they call you in, then, and if they read you your rights, then immediately just shut down and ask for an attorney. I don't understand why people don't do that. But the good thing they don't, because it makes for interrogations like this. So
I was just going to say, I mean, are we going to be in a situation eventually when we don't really have any interrogations to observe like this?
No, because criminals, even smart criminals, are stupid when it comes to this. They just think, well, if I just talk, I can explain it. I mean, we've seen interrogations of police officers who are guilty of something, and they do it thinking that they can explain it away. So, yeah.
True. Stephanie Lazarus comes to mind rather sharply. So, here we go. All right.
Correct. Yes.
Why?
Because
That's how
anytime
you
we talk to
swear.
somebody, we want to assure that everything that we talked about is,
True and accurate to the best of that person's knowledge.
it's not a trick question,
To the best of my knowledge?
to the best of your knowledge.
Everything that you've told us today is true and accurate to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, but it was not intentional.
Okay. Okay.
All right, do me a favor, stand up. I need you to turn around, face the wall, put your hands behind your back. Do you have anything in your pockets that I should know about?
No.
Okay.
Why is this happening?
Because George is dead.
Not intentionally.
We understand that.
He's still dead.
Well, we don't.
Someone
really
needs to
understand
call
that.
Brian, please.
Okay.
Or can I not make a phone call?
You'll be able to make a phone call when we get you down to the jail.
So
You'll
why
be
is this
afforded-
happening? So this was a trick.
No, it's not
No,
a trick.
not
How's
a
this a
trick.
trick? I brought you in here to ask you to explain a few things to us, and
You were read your rights.
your response to everything was basically, I didn't do it.
Intentionally.
I have to go through that.
Doesn't matter. It's still there. Do me a favor. Have a seat.
Really, guys?
Really.
So if I didn't show up? Why is
You're
this
trying-
happening?
Because
Before y'all said I could leave,
when
that I was done after this, after that.
we were done, yes, we were done. Absolutely.
So now, so that's what it is,
We are done.
right? Not intentional.
Okay.
So what am I supposed to do now?
You will,
Someone needs to call Brian.
okay.
Lucas is waiting for Mom to come home. This was not my intention. I thought I was waiting for you all to come and figure out what's what and how many.
That's what we're trying to do.
And I was going to be able to go home and see Lucas.
Is the volume off or is that just me?
You not here?
Uh-uh.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you. I can't hear the video.
Yeah, my mic came out of or my headset came out there. Hold on.
You know, Helen was just joking about taking shots every time she said intentional. She just said intentional 4 times in 2 minutes. Maybe you should slow down, Rabid.
It'd be interesting to get an actual word count of how many times she used that word in this
Yeah,
interrogation.
I don't think I could listen to it again right now and do that. Oh, maybe there's a transcript we can do. Yeah.
There will be. It's got to be hundreds.
Hundreds. Okay, I'll go back on mute now.
Okay.
Well, start playing. Let's see if we hear it.
You hear it
No.
there?
No.
Hold on, that's just strange. We have to get the walk of shame.
This was gonna happen.
Yes.
I need water like really bad, please.
Have a seat.
You all check me down here.
Absolutely did not.
I just got those.
Okay. They are not allowed in the jail.
So I can't even smoke a cigarette if I go.
What? Am I good on that? She's stuck up.
And what am I supposed to do with my car?
So you find where it is. When you get down there, you'll have 3 phones. You'll be able to call.
What, as soon as possible?
Yeah, once you get down there and get booked in, you'll be able to use a phone in the waiting
But
area.
how long will that take? Because I need to talk to Brian.
I don't know, it depends how busy, how quickly they get you through. I would say within the hour. It's a free phone call in the lobby. It's a free phone call.
All I'm doing is bring you there, sign
Yep.
the paper, and you're all good.
She has no clue.
So can I ask you, or whoever it is, those holding cells, the holding cells, am I gonna be put in one of those?
I don't know.
Last time I had a panic attack.
Let them know that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, you're familiar with the big bay. As long as you go in and you act civil to them, they'll set you in the big bay. And you'll be left there for
Can
a
you
while.
request that while I'm there?
No, that's not up to us. We don't work at the jail.
As long as what he's saying is, if you don't
If
act
you
up.
go in and act like this, you'll go in and they'll put you in the big bay. If you go in there screaming and kicking and yelling and
Why would
cursing
I
at
do
people,
that?
I don't know. I'm just letting you know that's what happens. That's how they weed people out. If you go in acting like this,
So I asked for the big bay?
they'll put you there as long as you're acting like this.
Yeah, because the last time I had a major panic attack on those little things.
Hey,
I don't know.
change the cups. Call it
Go
in.
stand up.
I have not.
So what am I gonna do with my purse? Oh, sorry.
Your purse is gonna come, but the cigarettes and stuff can't, so.
I put the lock up too, my bad.
Oh, no, it's all good. Mine are now opposite, so.
What made you all decide to do this?
Made us decide to do this.
Uh-huh.
George is dead.
You guys, I knew this was gonna happen,
You did? Okay.
so I came
Well,
down
we
here
gave-
willingly.
Yes, absolutely. We were trying to figure out what's going on. We're still trying to figure out what's going on.
Unintentionally.
Intentional or not, George is dead. You act like when you say unintentionally, that absolves you from everything.
I need to get, I have my, I don't know if it's able to be or not.
I apologize.
I have things in my car that I need to.
Put your.
What kind of stuff do you have in your car that you're worried about?
Well, I have my medication.
Okay, they have a pharmacy there, so if there's something that you have to have right away, you'll be seeing a nurse.
It's panic attack stuff.
Well, again, when you get checked in, you're gonna be seeing a nurse, and that they have a pharmacy there, so they'll be able to take care of any kind of that stuff. That protocol is out of my realm. I don't work down there, so I don't know, but I do know they do have a pharmacy, and that you will be afforded to see somebody. Okay?
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am. Let's say no. My bad.
No.
And this is literally just round the corner from that interrogation room. She was taken straight out here for the media.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Sarah Boone.
Miss Boone?
42-year-old Sarah Boone faced a judge Wednesday morning charged with second-degree.
And that you will be afforded to see somebody. Okay?
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am. Let's say no. My bad.
No.
Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Sarah Boone.
Miss Boone?
42-year-old Sarah Boone faced a judge Wednesday morning charged with second-degree murder. Detectives say she left her boyfriend, 42-year-old Jorge Torres Jr., in a suitcase in their Winter Park apartment to die. Based on the evidence in the case,
the autopsy findings, which include significant evidence of trauma to multiple sites on the victim's body,
the state asked for no bond. The judge agreed. In Orange County, Alex Villarreal, West 2 News.
So that brings down the curtain of the story of Sarah Boone for now. Wow.
Well, I mean, there's been some other stuff, like all her friggin' crazy letters to the judge and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
that's the basis of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just watching the interrogation alone, and I didn't expect us to watch that much of it, but that tells you all you need to really know about the story, really. It's all in that interrogation, you know?
Yeah. I'm really trying hard to get past the detectives, because there's so much more we could have learned that would have been, yeah. But again, if she goes to trial, you and I both have bets that her ego will not allow her to not get on the stand. Too bad it's in the daytime, though, because we could try the drinking game for that one, too, because I'm sure we're going to hear intentional 90,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on the stand, she probably will have a lot of different things. So that will be, I wonder what anybody else thinks in your chat. Do they think that she will take the stand?
Yeah, what do you guys think? I know we've been on quite a while, but I'll put in the panel link if anyone would like to come up. That would be cool.
Yeah.
But it was interesting as well to see the range in terms of what people, just as a kind of gut sort of feeling, have in terms of years, you know, that she would deserve.
I'm one of those off with their heads kind of people anyway. So just really quick. So we Ted's mom, what a birthday present, right?
Oh,
Says
no
that
way.
the trial starts on her birthday. So I don't know.
And Sarah was 42, I think, at the time of this, 42 or 43. So
42. They just
42.
said that. Yeah. And Oz, we have watched it on this channel, but we didn't watch it today.
Oh, we did actually. Sure, it was when you were at your meeting.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, they did watch it. Sorry.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so if you think about it in terms of sentences, you know, just in terms of how it would affect her particularly, you know, say she does get 20 years, that's basically life, really. You know, if it's a minimum of 20 years, she must be about 45 now, so she would be coming out at 65. Her life.
No.
No. What do you mean? What?
Every state's different, but if she got sentenced to 20 years, she's not doing 20 years.
Yeah, but just for the sake of argument, you know, for that thought experiment in terms of how much you think that she would deserve, right? So say it was 20 years minimum, then that would be, you know, her life in terms of any prospects would be essentially over when she comes out, right? You know, she'd be living out the rest of her, you know.
Yeah.
She's not going to have a career starting up really at that point, right? It's going to be difficult. So when you think about it like that, you know, to me, I just don't think she deserves that for what she's done. You know, it feels like her horrendous personality has essentially caused her to be in this situation. You know, her utter, well, it was just complete neglect and substance abuse, you know, that got her in this situation.
Well, I tried to post this, but it's too many characters. So I just Googled, and again, you know, it's just Google. So it says if convicted of second degree, and this is for Florida, if convicted of second degree murder, the offender will receive at least 16 to 3/4 years in prison without the chance of parole. So at least 16 3/4. If the defendant uses a firearm to commit it, then it's more, which is not, you know, so she could be sentenced from, you know, 16 to or 17 to whatever.
Can you have a quick look to see what manslaughter is?
Manslaughter? Yeah. And really quick, somebody asked if you could play that video.
Which one? The suitcase video?
Yeah, voices in your head, I think.
Oh, hey, voices.
Ask that.
Yeah, I'll play that.
So Voices does think she'll take the stand. She believes she's intelligent enough to get out of it. See, exactly. That's what I think too.
And that's the thing, like you said, she is really smart. She's pretty articulate.
Yeah. So for manslaughter, under Florida statute 782.07, manslaughter is a second-degree felony punishable by a maximum sentence of 15 years.
Right.
So, yeah, maximum though for second
Doesn't give
degree.
a minimum.
No, and maybe there isn't one.
So she's being.
They could, she's been in jail for 3 years. Let's just go. They could, I guess, based on this, they could say, 5 years with 3 years that she's already time served. Yeah.
So she could.
I don't think that will happen, but it's possible.
Is Florida known for being quite harsh in general in terms of juries? Do you know?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, no, I don't know. But the jury, I don't know in Florida. That's the other thing. I don't think the jury sets the sentence in Florida. I think the judge does.
Yeah, but just in terms of, verdicts, is there
Yeah,
such a
but
thing as
I think there are some states where the juries select the punishment based on what the.
No, really.
I think I could be wrong, but like you said, we got 50 states and every single one of them is different. So, it's kind of sometimes it'd be a lot easier if we were like you guys.
Yeah, see, voices, that's exactly the point. And it's kind of darkly ironic that, to me, her defensiveness and insecurity about her issues with alcohol has kind of put herself in a bit of a hole through that interrogation, because she was essentially trying to present herself as not being drunk, not that impaired. And that has got to be like a strategy in defense, surely.
Well, that's what I said in the chat at one point. If she would just say, you know what? I don't know why I didn't let him out of the suitcase, because I was blackout drunk. I don't remember most of the night. Yeah. Not that she would have still walked out of there that day, but at least, but she went from saying, we were drinking to, and then being emphatic. I wasn't drunk. Who said I wasn't drunk?
Yeah.
But you said you were drinking. We were drinking. I drink. I wasn't drunk. It's yeah, she needs to get over that. I don't know if that will help her at this point or not. I don't know. So really quick, if you are convicted of a felony offense and it's your first offense, a judge will order a pre-sentence investigation. So the judge is the one that gives the sentences in Florida.
Right. Okay. And yeah, just to put it, sorry.
I was just going to say, are we going to watch that video?
Yeah, I just want to quickly say, just to put it in context as well, it was well known, because it's not really apparent in the interrogation alone, but it was well apparent after they spoke to family members of George and neighbours in the area and the landlord, that they were known as having huge problems with alcohol on a daily basis. So it was a real problem. So I'll play this video here.
For everything you've done to me.
So.
For everything you've done to me.
So.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you.
So.
Stupid.
So.
That's my name. Don't wear it up.
So. I can't fucking breathe, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, that's when you do when you choke me.
Sarah. Sarah. Sarah.
Sarah, I can't breathe. That's on you. Sarah, I can't breathe. It's on you. Sarah. Real or ransom. Might want to give it for it extra. Because I got this. Sarah. Real or ransom. Sarah. Sarah, I can't breathe, babe. Oh. That's what I feel like when you drink on me. Sarah. Fuck you. Breathe, Sarah. Yeah. You should probably shut the fuck up. Sarah. Shh.
You're on mute, Rabid.
I keep doing that. So it's interesting how, you know, people have different reactions in terms of how drunk they perceive her to be. Like Voices there is saying she's blotto. And I've made the argument, you know, that she had a complete blackout and it's explainable that she might have just completely forgotten about the video. But I've seen other people say it just doesn't sound that bad, you know, you can understand her. So it's a hard thing to define, you know. You can never really know what's going on in her head, how out of it she really is.
Right. And you have to also take into account, you know, people's level. I've said this, that if I were that drunk, there's no way I would be able to operate my phone. There's no way. But an alcoholic, that's a whole different level, right?
Yeah.
And you know, and I've just based off my own personal opinions, the alcoholics I know, they use the blackout as an excuse a lot. You know, when they've done really crappy things. It seems like when they've been really, really drunk and everything was fine and everybody had a good time, they can remember every detail of it. But when they've done really shitty things, all of a sudden they're like, I don't remember any of that. So, whereas the average person that I know, that when we used to go out and drink all the time, we didn't have blackouts every other weekend, you know? So I don't know. I don't know what a blackout to her level of alcoholism is.
It's a murky issue, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think there's really any way you can determine that unless it's like, hey, get her drunk and let's see what she does.
Yeah.
I mean, we wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I've been super, super drunk a lot in my younger days. And I think I only blacked out, and it was only kind of a blackout. There's only parts that were missing, but that's just me, and everybody's different. I don't know. I don't know. But for whatever reason, she is more defensive over being labeled as an alcoholic or even being told or admitting she was that drunk than she is worried about people thinking that she murdered him. That's just bizarre to me.
That's the huge takeaway for me on this. You know, as I keep saying, it seems like some horrendous metaphor for the problems of addiction, you know. It doesn't have to be alcohol, it can be anything, you know, and the repercussions that are possible.
Yeah, I think I think in her mind, maybe she may be thinking if she admits she was drunk and she passed out, that automatically would make her at least manslaughter, because, you know, you hear cases about people who, you know, pass out and leave their kids, and something happens, their kids get hurt and they get charged with things. So that could be, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I probably, not that I would ever put anybody in a suitcase and do that, but I probably would claim I was blackout drunk, even if I wasn't blackout drunk, just to excuse that horrible video. And I did notice, and I meant to say it earlier, when she was talking about when she was upstairs, well, maybe she did the whole entire, but there was one point where she didn't say fell asleep. She said, and that's when I went out. So she didn't say she blacked out, but she didn't say she fell asleep. Where me, I'd be like, I don't know. I was waiting for him and I was really tired and I fell asleep. You know, I had a glass of wine and I fell asleep. She's very weird about what words she uses.
I'm sure she said at another point as well that she was waiting for him to come up so that they could have sex.
Oh, I don't want to even.
She definitely said that at one point. Yeah.
I mean, so either she wasn't blackout drunk, but she was pretty drunk. Clearly she was drunk and she fell asleep, or she blacked out.
Imagine that happening, right? If that's what occurred, if it was a genuine blackout. It's hard to justify that she really felt these emotions that you or I would feel, but just imagine, walking down there and then you see the suitcase in the corner of your eye and then the memory comes flooding back to you. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I would imagine, again, you never know how you're going to be in a situation until you're actually in it, but I would imagine my reaction on the 911 call, on the body cams, in this interrogate would have been completely different. I mean, we've seen cases where people, are so overrun with guilt about something that's happened. They're like, it's my fault. I killed him. And then the police officers take that literally when, because that's what you think you would be feeling if you actually passed out drunk and found your boyfriend dead in a suitcase. How could you not feel like you killed him? Clearly, I'm going to use that word, not intentionally, but that's got to be like the guilt. And I don't know. I don't know if she's an enigma to me. I don't know. I mean, because I don't believe she purposely did it. I don't think she started the night off thinking I'm going to kill him. I don't think she ended the night thinking.
Some people do. Some people do think that about her.
Yeah. And, I can see where they think that. I don't believe that. But her reactions to everything is just, it's not normal. It's not normal.
Definitely not. I mean, someone mentioned earlier in chat, I think it was Jenny, just on top of the obvious alcohol issues, like what has gone on in her past? Is there something really? I know this is a common thing that comes up in true crime, right? But there may well be something horrendous, that's caused her to just over the last 10 years spiral so far down. God knows.
Yeah. She never said anything good about George. That's the other thing. I mean, not the other thing, because there's like 50 things, but
she had little moments where it felt kind of genuine when she would sort of almost cry and say how much she loved him, but
there was maybe 2% of that and 98% of me.
Agreed.
I can't sleep. I'm vomiting. I'm Mother Teresa.
I've done all this for him.
I've done all this for him. Like I said, up until when you killed him. I was so good for him. I was helping him and him. Blah, blah, blah. It was just me and me and me and me. And
that's partly why I'm intrigued to see her in court, right? To see if 3 years of something close to being sober for 3 years is, has reality sunk in, right?
Oh, you're assuming she's sober, are you?
Well, I know that you can get around it, but there's no way to have the same lifestyle in terms of
no, but
of that, right?
And we go back to if she is like a lot of people that have addiction problems, there's an addiction for a reason. And again, I go back to people with addictions. They're not used to dealing with hard feelings sober, whether, it's crack or meth or alcohol or whatever. So even if she can't get alcohol in jail, I can't believe she's stone cold sober, because this woman has spent 10 years not dealing with life without alcohol, without something suppressing, having to deal with anything grown up like. But that's just my assumption.
No, that's a good assumption. She may have just her body would just need to substitute it for something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, voices. A lot of people look for a cause for spiraling into alcoholism, but more often than not, it's just in the genes. Many of us are predisposed to addiction simply through our genetics. It's a great point, actually.
Yeah. And that's I mean, yeah. But even if, she didn't start drinking to mask anything or to suppress anything along the way, if she's that heavy of an alcoholic, then I still believe that she probably most likely hasn't dealt with real emotions sober in a very, very long time. And this is pretty heavy, right? This is something even I wouldn't want to deal with sober. I mean, if I put somebody in a suitcase and they died, I'd probably need to be medicated for a very long time.
God. She's
6?
as many as that.
Wow. I mean, I knew it was a lot, but
wow.
She's just burning through the wow.
The list.
Oh, yeah. So somebody said his name earlier. I can't remember. Who's that other guy that just was on trial that represented himself?
Oh, God, that hideous Brooks.
Yeah.
God.
That was another one I couldn't watch without stopping it.
Oh, my God.
Because it was so
that
frustrating.
Guy. Have you seen his interrogation?
No, because I got enough of the trial. I couldn't. After I watched the trial, which almost killed me, I don't know, maybe that's a form of self-punishment. I don't know. I don't know why I kept watching it, because it was excruciating. No, I didn't. I saw it and it keeps popping up on my recommended. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm done with him. I'm done with this man. And I can't do it.
I got so sick of seeing his face on thumbnails.
I know.
Didn't matter how often I would try and hide the notifications. It just kept popping up with that face of his.
I did find a TikTok that had little snippets of different things, and I sent it to my son going, this is what raising you as a teenager was like. That's what it reminded me of, kind of like with Sarah, the constant purposely not answering, rewording things, being argumentative. Yeah. Somebody suggested those two should get together. Oh my gosh, could you imagine that?
Yeah. Someone would be dead quickly.
That would be a couple from hell for sure.
See, a lot of people have pointed out, Jenny, how immature Sarah comes across. And a lot of people say that about alcoholism. It kind of stunts your maturity.
It's not even just the immaturity. For me, it's like she's asking them, what do I do about my car? What do I do? What do I do about, all, because clearly she had the list of all the evidence that they confiscated, right? What do I do about this? Are you guys gonna tell his probation officer? Can I tell his friend? She clearly has been enabled, and I definitely think that's the ex-husband or current. I don't know if he was, anyways, that guy. She's clearly been enabled. So once she became, that alcoholic, I don't think she's dealt with, what we call, she hasn't been adulting very well, because she's asking these, I would ask anybody but the police officers who just sat there, raked me over the coals for an hour and a half. What should I do about this? What should I do about that? I mean, but so it is a level of immaturity. She just doesn't know what to do for anything. Some of those questions were just stupid. I thought they were just dumb. And the way she almost sounded frantic. I need to call Brian. Someone needs to call Brian. So frantic, because I think he's her enabler.
Yeah. He was bailing her out. I mean, he was paying for that apartment that whole time that she was living in.
Yeah.
I'd like to know, because she was unemployed at that point. I'd like to know how long she was unemployed.
I'm sorry. I was reading Jamie's comment out loud. She said, as long as they don't breed. I'm assuming that's about Daryl and her as the evil couple. So Voices says, I didn't watch Brooks. The thumbnails tripped me. I don't even know what the case was, but knew watching him would make. Yes. Very angry. He's very, very, very. It would make you very angry. If anything about this Sarah Boone interrogation bothered you, yeah. I mean, I'm not kidding. Because I like watch YouTube at night when I go down to bed and I'm watching it on the TV. There were so many times I had to put the remote on the other side of the bed because I really wanted to throw it at the screen. I was really, and I'm thinking, I am getting really invested in this when this much anger. And then I'd be like, okay, I need to go watch something else to calm down or I'm never going to sleep. I was so angry.
Pacing the room.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't think this is how this is supposed to be. I don't think I should be feeling like this. But man, it was infuriating to
Did you watch the whole trial then? Because I just watched parts of it. Did you?
Yeah. I came into it late, but I went back. I came into it late and went back to it.
Did the judge lose a bit of control, do you think, or?
Well, so there's two trains of thought I have with that. No, the judge, I don't think lost control. The judge, in my opinion, was more lenient than I would have liked. There were times she kind of lost it a little bit and would send him to a different room and make him go to a different room, but that was only after an hour's worth of crap that led up to it. But I understand why she was doing that because he was representing himself. She wanted to give nothing for an appeal, nothing, even to the point of sacrificing the whole entire world having to watch this and suffer through it. But, you know, she didn't want to have to shut him down as often as she should have or could have because she didn't want to give him the reason for the appeal. That's my opinion on why she was doing it. I mean, there were times she was definitely past her point of frustration, but she held it together.
That's good.
Which is good. And you could tell at the end, though. At the end, when it was pretty much wrapped up, that's when he got sent out of the room. That's when she would interrupt him and tell him to sit down more and more because we're past the point of giving you a reason for an appeal now. And during the sentencing, it was the same thing. So, no, she didn't lose control. She kept her composure very well, but it was still frustrating because, you know.
It sounds like she earned her wages not during that trial.
She did. Yeah, I thought she was a good judge. I mean, I have no doubt that, you know, if he had been represented and he had interrupted the court 1/10 of what he was doing, she would have shut him down immediately. But because he was representing himself, she was, you know, being cautious.
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh, that's all going to come out in the trial. So much is going to come out. I mean, it's just a guess, but he came across as being a kind of father figure to her. And it's interesting, during the body cam footage, directly after the 911 call, it becomes kind of obvious from what she's saying that she doesn't really have anyone other than her ex-husband. You know, she's got no family around. I think only her brother is around, but he's in the military. So I think she was just, she just always went to him in her, when she needed something.
Yeah, so I'm wondering who he's actually going to testify for, the prosecution or the defense.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's going to be questioned by both, but
yeah.
He didn't seem to be holding back on the body cam about his opinions of her and her lifestyle and things like that. So
he didn't do her any favors.
No, I mean,
he wasn't going out of his way to anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was being truthful, you know. He's like, hey, yeah, she's got this problem and they've got this thing and this is what's been going on. And yeah,
she's got to have had needed to be treated for withdrawal. Like, I'm convinced that she didn't. There was obviously more than just those 2 bottles of wine. I mean, people that are drinking daily, they have stashes, right? You know, there's no way that she would allow herself to wake up the next morning with nothing. You know, so
well, I mean, it depends on how bad she is. If you know.
Yeah,
if she's that bad where, you know, it can throw her into a medical emergency, then yeah, they would have put her in a detox first. and used medication to help her.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Not all alcoholics need that.
Yeah.
Hi, Welsh lady.
Who's that?
I said, hi, Welsh lady.
Oh, I need to scroll down.
So Jenny asked if you're going to be covering the trial.
I am, yeah. I'm actually traveling for about a week. Happens to be the first week of the trial, but yeah, I'm definitely going to cover it. I have to cover this one. I'm not sure if any of the big networks are going to pick it up, because I know it's got a lot more traction now. There's a lot more interest in it. It was due to be streamed on Fox 35 initially, before it was postponed.
That Law and Crime channel on YouTube, they actually they have several channels. They cover a lot of trials at once, so it's possible they may be doing it too.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people interested. I've noticed that in a lot of the chats of some of the big networks. So that might sway them.
Or we just need to find someone in Florida to go hang out at the courthouse.
All right. Well, I think that's been a pretty good primer for the trial of Sarah Boone, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was excited for it, but I haven't really watched anything about her. So now I'm even more excited now. Kind of like, oh, yeah, that's why. Yeah. I can't wait now. Again, if she postpones it, I want her to get the death. I want her to get the death penalty then if she postpones it again. I mean, I know it's normal. It happens a lot here, but this is just crazy. But again, if she's gone through 6 lawyers, holy cow.
That's crazy.
I can't. Can you imagine being her lawyer?
No.
Trying to rein that in?
God, I know.
No.
And it doesn't sound like she's lost any of her tenacity when you read the letters that she's been writing to the judge.
Yeah. And if you're a public defender, you probably don't make as much as you deserve to have to deal with her.
No. Jamie, that trial was that was crazy, wasn't it? Alec Murdo. Wow, I still don't understand his motivation. It's just so out there with him. I mean, I know all the obvious things, with his son, the boat case and everything. His world was starting to crumble around him, I guess. Yeah. But it still feels like he had genuine love for his family. So it's hard to you can't rationalize the insane, I guess.
Well, and we're back to the addiction thing.
True. Yeah.
I mean, he didn't look like when he was in the cop car that night. I mean, he didn't look high or anything, but to be honest, people that are that addicted, and it sounded like he was pretty addicted, they've done less for their drugs and to hide things. And he had a lot to hide. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, maybe one of them was going to say, I don't know. But I think with him, his drug addiction was definitely
big part of it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully see you in a couple of weeks.
No, hopefully you're going to do it.
Definitely.
You're going to do it.
Yeah, got to.
All right. Thank you for having me, and thank you for everyone in the chat. It was definitely fun doing this again.
Thanks to you, Cheryl. Thanks as always. It's always great to get your input, and thanks to everyone in chat. Some great comments in there. I missed a bunch at the start, so I'll definitely go back and have a read through. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon. Good night.
Bye.